Chapter 2481. Chen Xiang used the Dao Heart Eye to look at the sky ruins, and surprisingly, his body was covered with a kind of cyan-colored Daoyuan immortal power. He did not know what type of energy it was, but it was extremely strange, and it was Chen Zhang's first time seeing it. On the other hand, Li Bao's entire body was covered with blue Daoyuan immortal power, and from time to time he would flash with lightning. One look was enough to tell that he was from thunder power, and at this moment, he could feel a trace of berserk qi. Begin. The beast-like middle-aged man riding the white tiger roared. Li Bao appeared in front of Tian Rui in an instant. His quick fist shot out lightning bolts, as if 10 streaks of lightning were striking Tian Rui crazily. After being punched a few times, Tian Rui quickly dodged. He was punched a few times, but he looked fine, which made Chen Xiang feel that something was strange. Could it be? Chen Xiang suddenly realized something, because the Daoyuan immortal power on Tian Rui's body became the same as Li Bao's. It even had the exact same aura as Li Bao. Li Bao also noticed it and was secretly surprised in his heart. Tian Rui looked like he did not change, but his strength and aura seemed to be the same as Li Bao's. Indeed, Tian Rui also suddenly flashed. This was the same movement technique as Li Bao previously used. His speed was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye he was already in front of Li Bao, and then he used the same fist technique as Li Bao previously. However, his punching technique was even more ferocious than his. In an instant, thousands and thousands of fist shadows appeared, and countless lightning enveloped Li Bao like a giant net. In the blink of an eye, a majority of the attacks landed on Li Bao's body. Li Bao was simply unable to dodge it. Although he also cultivated the same type of lightning energy, being struck by such a heavy blow wasn't anything good for him either. He actually spat out a small mouthful of blood. Well done. Kong Kong smiled and shouted. Li Bao spat out the blood in his mouth and his eyes became sharp. He suddenly flashed again, but when he appeared again, he had turned into 4, surrounding the sky ruins. Tian Rui was shocked, because he felt that the Li Bao in 4 directions was real and not just an illusion. Which one is the real one? Tian Rui did not have the time to differentiate between the two as the opponent had simultaneously attacked. An intense bolt of lightning shot out from his mouth and eyes, striking his body in the blink of an eye. Ah! After Tian Rui screamed in pain, the 4 Li Bao's immediately rushed up and waved their fists. They madly smashed onto Tian Rui's body, and continuously exploded outwards. We admit defeat. Stopped, he had also changed into a different person. Tian Rui was covered in wounds. Sha Bailing used the power of teleportation to move him over and fed him a healing pellet. Tianli, you go, Azure's son shouted. Tian Li nodded. His appearance was average, and he looked rather steady. Just now, when he was watching the fight from the side, he must have been able to see something. Shu Kong and Qingyang believed that he would definitely win. However, Tian Li had only held for a short while before being defeated by Li Bao using another move. He was actually knocked out, but his injuries weren't really serious, and he woke up after being tormented by Qingyang for a while. The 2 Dao sovereigns of the Azure Skies had brought only one more disciple. Now, all of their hopes rested on Tianxi. The enemy's beasts were jeering at them non-stop. Earlier, the Heavenly Jewel Masters had been too weak and had been defeated quickly, allowing the enemy to win with ease. This was why the beasts were ridiculing them so much. At this time, Shu Kong and Qingyang couldn't blame Tian Rui and Tian Li for this. After all, this was the disciple they thought to be the best, and they could only blame the other party for being too strong. Chen Xiang was also a little suspicious. Both Qingyang and Void were Dao sovereigns, so logically speaking, their disciples should not be weak. Right now, Shu Ke and Qingyang were repeatedly warning Tianxi about many things. They couldn't let Tianxi lose. They also hoped that Tianxi would win all the way to the end and defeat all the people she brought. Sister Bai Ling, do you have any disciples? Chen Xiang asked. No, both Shu Kong and Qingyang originally had very strong disciples, but they all died because of accidents, alas. Sha Bailing sighed helplessly. Originally, the disciples that they were most proud of were all very strong. They were all good seedlings. Oh, what was the accident? Chen Xiang asked again. These are all sudden calamities. When they were on their way out, they were suddenly injured by a bolt of lightning that descended from the sky. That lightning is very strange. Even after severely injuring them, they were actually poisoned. When they returned, they were already on the verge of death, and before we could treat them, they had already died. Quote. Lightning that could poison people. This caused Chen Xiang to be shocked. Tianxi, it's all up to you. Shu Ke said with a serious expression. He was very confident in his abilities and he did it so that the pressure on Tianxi wouldn't be too great. Although he had lost miserably to his two senior brothers, he was still full of fighting spirit and was not afraid at all. This made Chen Shang feel a lot of respect. As Tianxi walked towards Li Bao crossed his hands over his chest, and looked at Tianxi with disdain. In his eyes, Tianxi was as weak as the two before him. Begin. This time, it was from the void. From the very beginning, Li Bao had turned into a bolt of lightning and charged into the sky. At the same time, he released a very strong ice-cold qi, turning it into a shield, and blocked the lightning that shot out of Li Bao's mouth. After that, Tianxi used his own cold qi to condense a set of armor to protect his body. When Li Bao's lightning struck him, it wasn't able to do much damage to him. Li Bao sneered, then attacked once again. Previously, he had always used his own Daoyuan immortal power to turn into lightning to strike, but this time, he used a close combat attack, directly using his own fist to fuse with thunder and lightning, and rushed towards Tianxi's ice shield. Although Tian Zai's ice shield could block the lightning strike before, facing Li Bao's berserk fist, it was unable to block it at all and shattered in an instant. Then, Li Bao's fist landed on his ice armor and shattered it. Tianxi, come back. If they did not admit defeat, Tianxi would definitely be severely injured, and right now, they had already seen that Tianxi was unable to hurt Li Bao. Hee, you've lost. The man riding the tiger laughed. The small white lion descended from the sky and walked to the side of Tianxi, helping him to heal his injuries. It was obvious that he and Qingyang both cared deeply for their disciple. When they saw that their disciple was injured, they hurriedly called for them to stop. Losing meant that the battle with the beasts would be brought forward. At this moment, Shu Kong and Qingyang had also experienced the strength of the young generation of beast-like creatures. I didn't lose, and me too. He had broken through to the 10th level of the Dao Dan realm in a row, but even though he hadn't fought properly, he had only had a small fight with Zhang Xian previously. It wasn't fun at all, and it was even when he was at the first level of the Dao Dan realm. Chapter 2482. Sha Bailing knew that Chen Shang had just broken through to the 10th level of the Dao Dan realm, but she felt that Chen Shang was the kind of person who would not fight back. She was also very happy that Chen Shang was able to stand out, but she was worried that Chen Shang would be beaten to a pulp. You are the alchemist, fighting or something like that is not suitable for you. Sha Bailing immediately pulled Chen Shang back. It's nothing. I used to play quite a lot, and my luck has always been good. I could always win. Chen Shang smiled faintly. Void said, don't force it, you are an alchemist, and you can even refine Shengdao Dan, forget it. We'll accept it too. Quote. Qingyang nodded his head. If alchemist is severely injured, it might have a huge impact on the future of pill refining, don't take the risk. Seniors, there's no need to worry. Just let me go up and take a look. My hands have been itching for a long time already. He had stepped into the Dao Dan realm, but he had yet to experience the benefits of the Dao Dan realm. For example, the ability of the Dao Dan realm to borrow the energy of the natural law principles. Alright then, if we can't beat him, we will stop him immediately. Seeing how determined Chen Shang was, the air could only allow Chen Shang to go up. Is there really no problem? Sha Bailing frowned, her face was filled with worry as she asked. No problem, I can definitely beat them. Chen Shang laughed and then walked toward Li Bao in large strides. Li Bao sized Chen Shang up for a moment, and laughed coldly, you sure are confident, even though they don't think much of you, you actually still dare to come up. However, I am also looking forward to fighting with a human alchemist and defeating him. This is a rare opportunity. Quote. Wait till you defeat me. You seem so much more confident than I am, so you won't laugh at me. Chen Shang laughed. Alchemist brat, you look so much like a weak chicken, can you really fight against me? The tiger-riding man laughed. Defeating you is impossible, but I think defeating Li Bao shouldn't be a problem. Chen Shang replied. Yo, you're pretty calm. If you can beat the 5 of us strongest kids, we promise to stop this war for 10 years. The tiger-riding man laughed. Really, do you know how to disobey words? Chen Shang asked. Haha, I never lie. Ask your 3 Dao sovereigns if you don't believe me. The big fellow on the tiger laughed out loud. Alright, I believe you. Chen Shang looked at Qingyang and Sha Bailing, and they nodded. This showed that the tiger rider's reputation was not bad. I'm ready, Chen Shang said. Begin. The tiger riding warrior immediately shouted. Just like the three of them who attacked Tian Rui and the others, Li Bao rushed over from the start. With an extremely fast speed, his aura, which was as fierce as lightning, arrived in front of Chen Shang in an instant. However, he missed. Because Chen Shang was even faster, he was actually behind Li Bao in an instant. A fist ignited in flames, and smashed onto Li Bao's back like a giant axe. Boom! Chen Zhang's fist carried the powerful meteor Immortal power, as it directly landed on Li Bao's back, releasing a wave of scorching heat that melted all the stones around. After the flames scattered, Li Bao's entire body was scorched black, lying on the scorching ground and moaning. Sha Bailing and the other three Dao sovereigns were stunned. They never thought that Chen Shang could actually fight like that. Only now did Sha Bailing remember that Chen Shang also knew how to use spatial energy, and had instantly teleported behind Li Bao just now to launch that extremely fatal strike. "Don't worry, I didn't kill him," Chen Shang said to the burly man riding the tiger, who had a gloomy expression. Then, he picked up Li Bao and threw him to them. Although Li Bao's entire body was charred black, he was only burned by the hot air from the meteor Immortal power. He was unable to fight in a short period of time, and would be better after taking some medicine. Was secretly pleased, he had only borrowed a bit of the Heaven's Path's flame power, he did not expect it to be so terrifying, and with one move, he beat Li Bao down. "Beautiful," cried the happy Void in that tender voice, and raised her little pink fist. "Flying Leopard, you go." The big fellow was in existence as strong as the three Dao sovereigns. He had already seen through Chen Shang just now, and knew how powerful he was, especially due to the usage of the spatial energy. "Sha Bailing, is this your disciple?" Because he knew that Sha Bailing used his spatial energy. "No," Sha Bailing laughed, "he taught me his pill techniques, you have lost for sure. It's rare for a human to have such a powerful little ghost. Let me see just how strong he is. Flying Leopard, remember this, from the beginning, you have to use your full strength. Don't hide your true strength like Li Bao." The man on the tiger urged. "Understood, Beastmaster." Then, it came to the battlefield and looked at Chen Shang. He looked very similar to Li Bao. Maybe it was because of the leopard pattern on their faces, but they looked the same. "Begin," a voice shouted from the void. From the very beginning, the Azure Dragon Dao scar on Chen Zhang's body lit up, and under his mental control, he borrowed the thunder power from the heavenly Dao to condense a very strong power. The flying leopard had only taken 2 steps forward and was only 3 meters away from Chen Shang. However, a bolt of lightning had come out of nowhere and accurately struck the back of the flying leopard. Chen Shang had been completely motionless from beginning to end, and didn't have the slightest bit of aura on his body, yet he had quickly condensed a bolt of lightning and appeared behind the flying leopard's back out of nowhere. This was the result of him using the spatial lightning strike of the Azure Dragon's Dao mark to attack, and he also borrowed the power of the heavenly Dao to make the lightning strike stronger. In a short period of time, he would be able to condense enough thunder power and defeat the flying leopard. At this time, Chen Shang was still controlling the thunder power, so he was worried that he would kill the flying leopard. When the other party gets furious, the 3 cities might immediately face war. The flying leopard was thrown back by Chen Shang, and he also took away the thunder power at that time, so the flying leopard could quickly stand up. However, he was already filled with fear towards Chen Shang now. "Ah Ying, you go up." The tiger rider's face became gloomy, because even he did not understand Chen Zhang's method of attack, it was simply too bizarre. Sha Bailing could actually see a little, because she could feel that there were extremely weak spatial fluctuations. Chen Shang had clearly used the power of space, and had even quickly condensed her thunder power to attack through the air. But all of this was too fast, and the most important thing was that Chen Shang did not make any movements at all. The opposing Ah Ying looked like a teenager, but he had a pair of wings on his back, which should be an eagle. Chapter 2483. Chen Shang used the Dao Heart Eye to look at Ah Ying. He had actually used fire power, but looking at how confident he was, it was definitely not only because of the powerful flames, but also because he had other trump cards. The panther that had been defeated by him earlier was also very strong, but before it could even display its full strength, Chen Shang had already defeated it, so the panther was feeling very aggrieved. After the tiger rider shouted for it to start, Ah Ying immediately flew high into the sky, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Chen Shang raised his head to look at the sky. "Are you still going to fight?" Void hastily said. "He flew so high, isn't that just running away?" His speed was very fast, and upon closer inspection, it was precisely this cluster of fire that Ah Ying had shot down from the skies. Furthermore, his own speed had increased, which was why he was so fast. It was almost as if he had teleported. Ah Ying directly struck down, but Chen Xiang did not dodge. After being struck by the ball of flames, his body actually scattered. Everyone was startled, thinking that Chen Xiang had been destroyed, but then suddenly shouted, "Ah Ying, be careful." He had dodged it long ago, and just as he was about to attack Ah Ying once again shot up into the sky. But this time, Ah Ying was blocked by a ball of flame. With a hissing sound, after the ball of flames exploded, it turned into a vermilion sparrow with flames all over its body. Its body was extremely huge, its claws grabbing onto Ah Ying. It wasn't just Qingyang and the others, even the beasts riding the tiger rider were extremely frightened. They thought that the true vermilion bird had appeared, because it was simply too similar. The stronger the Daoyuan immortal power, the stronger the vermilion bird would be, and the bigger the vermilion bird would be. Because the second divine sense C had the vermilion bird's strongest divine soul, the vermilion bird that he was releasing right now was extremely realistic, possessing the aura of a heavenly beast. Ah Ying was a bird, and was most afraid of these divine beasts. Hence, after being caught, he was already trembling in fear, unable to continue fighting. Chen Xiang immediately rose into the air and punched Ah Ying in the abdomen, causing Ah Ying to scream out loud. After that, he punched a few more times. Each of his punches were extremely berserk, causing Ah Ying to lose the ability to fight. After that, he controlled the vermilion bird to put Ah Ying down. At this moment, everyone could tell that Chen Xiang was the one who created the vermilion bird. Chen Xiang controlled the vermilion bird to gradually shrink and enter his palm. Everyone finally regained their senses and they were extremely surprised at what kind of mysterious technique Chen Xiang had cultivated to actually be able to produce a vermilion bird. We've lost. Because Chen Xiang was simply too strong, he felt that even if it was someone at the first or second stage of Daopo realm, he would still have difficulty defeating Chen Xiang. Even though they still had 2 players to fight, there was no point in continuing to fight. I promised you that we wouldn't fight in 10 years. Let's go. After the tiger rider finished speaking, he left. Riding on those giant beasts, he soon left. Chen Xiang laughed. Aren't these guys very strong? Sha Bailing laughed. You are really too powerful. If it was someone of the same level, they would be considered stronger. You are really a weirdo. Not only are you good at concocting pills, you are also good at fighting. Hee, just average. Chen Xiang laughed. Thank you for buying us so much time. Void said with gratitude. There's no need to be polite, it's just a small matter. Chen Xiang said, although these Dao sovereigns looked like children, he was clear that they were not that simple. Otherwise, they would not have been able to create 3 cities, and they would have been able to intimidate undead divine race, otherwise he would have already rushed into the inner city. Just as Chen Xiang was thinking about the undead divine race, he suddenly sensed a fluctuation, which alarmed him. What enemy? There's no need for us to worry. The void could sense a group of people approaching. Qingyang immediately rushed over to Chen Zhang's side while holding a short sword, as if wanting to protect Chen Xiang. Sha Bailing had heard from Chen Xiang that the undead divine race was hunting him down, so she knew who Chen Zhang's enemies were, and she quickly rushed over to Chen Zhang's side to protect him. Haha, Chen Xiang, you are dead today, I have been waiting for you to come out. Be a little more honest and hand over the 2 heavenly artifact first, and then teach us your pill techniques. That way, we won't have to exhaust ourselves in torturing you and force you to hand over your pills. The one who spoke was a yellow-haired old man. He was from undead divine race. From the undead divine race? Void frowned. What are you guys doing here? Many years ago, your ancestor was already beaten away by us, and you still dare to come. Quote. Other than undead divine race, there were also evil spirit race and the 3 elders from infinite divine mountain. Little thing, if you and Chen Xiang are together, you must be his friend, right? This way is also good, I'll capture you all and force Chen Xiang. The yellow-haired old man laughed savagely. You're courting death. The heir snorted. He looked like a child, and did not deserve to be looked down upon, but Chen Xiang knew that he was a Dao sovereign. Just as the words left his mouth, the yellow-haired old man's smile froze, because one of his arms suddenly disappeared. Strangely, he didn't feel any pain nor did he bleed. Chen Xiang was also shocked. He simply could not sense any energy fluctuations earlier. One had to know that the yellow-haired old man was a very powerful undead divine race. He actually lost an arm. The yellow-haired old man's arm was at Sha Bailing's feet, but what made Chen Shang even more surprised was that her palm had a transparent box, and inside it there was a beating heart. The yellow-haired old man touched his chest and said in shock, my heart is in your hands." Quote. The small short sword in Qingyang's hands flew out as well, slowly floating to in front of the yellow-haired old man, then in a flash, it entered the yellow-haired old man's head. Following that, the yellow-haired old man hugged his head and shouted out, and then, he started to punch and kick the people around him. In the blink of an eye, he had injured a few undead divine races who were following him. After the evil spirit race warriors saw this, they all started to attack. However, they discovered that their arms had become translucent, and all the energy in their bodies had disappeared. However, they could hear their voices. However, when they rushed over to attack Chen Shang, they only penetrated his body, but not Chen Zhang's. Chen Shang looked at Qingyang in the sky. He never thought that these two brats would actually possess such terrifying powers. Of course, Sha Bailing's spatial energy was also very scary. It could actually take away someone's heart through the air, and also didn't injure that person. Only now did he realize that these three fellows looked more like Dao sovereigns. Chapter 2484. The undead divine race and evil spirit race were running around like translucent souls now, unable to even speak. Chen Shang did not know what kind of power caused them to become like this, but he could guess that it was the Void Holy Man who did it. Ibdu. What are you going to do with them? Void asked. If I want to kill them, will there be any serious consequences? Chen Shang thought about it and said. These people were simply too annoying, and he didn't have enough strength to fight them. Not in a short time. But I suggest you keep them alive for now and seal them somewhere. Undead divine race and red spirit race are still quite troublesome. If they were to die right now, they would definitely find out about it. If they found out that it was you who did it, it would bring about quite a bit of trouble. Void said. Chen Shang nodded, he thought the same, took out the Chuangshi God furnace, and said, can you put them into my divine furnace? Upon seeing Chen Zhang's Chuangshi God furnace, both Shukong and Qingyang's eyes immediately lit up. They seemed to be able to see that Chen Zhang's Chuangshi God furnace was very good stuff. Where did you get this stove? Sha Bailing also saw through it. She anxiously leaned over and asked. I picked it up. Chen Shang laughed. Can you seal them in this furnace? I've thrown a lot of tough guys in before. Quote. There's no doubt about it. Your furnace itself is very scary. Furthermore, with our seal, we can definitely keep them inside for a period of time. Once you have enough strength, it will not be too late for you to kill them. Ning nodded. When the group of undead divine race and the others heard their conversation, they all wanted to escape, but Sha Bailing had released a space domain long ago, enveloping them within. Therefore, they could only run around here, and from time to time, they would pierce through Chen Shang and the others' bodies. The Void, Qingyang, and Sha Bailing all joined forces to seal the group of fellows inside a pearl. Chen Shang did not know how they managed to do it, but they were all Dao sovereigns and had extremely powerful abilities. Chen Shang had thrown the pearl inside the Chuangshi God furnace in order to prevent them from escaping. It's much quieter now. Chen Shang laughed. Thank you, seniors. You're welcome, you've helped us a lot. He then looked towards Sha Bailing and asked, Bai Ling, did you give him any rewards for his Shengdao Dan? Not yet, he hasn't thought of what he wants. Sha Bailing stuck his tongue out at Chen Shang. I almost thought of it. Let's talk about it when we get back. Chen Shang said. Now that he did not have this group of irritating people constantly chasing him, Chen Shang felt a lot more at ease. At least, when he went out in the future, he would not need to be worried. Sha Bailing immediately used a spatial shift to bring Chen Shang and Shu Kong back to White Spirit City. The disciples brought by the Azure Sky Sword were all injured, and they were in a hurry to take them to recuperate. When they left, they told Chen Shang that if he needed any help in the future, he could come to them at any time. After Qingyang and Shu Kong left, Sha Bailing immediately pinched Chen Zhang's handsome face and said with a smile, Brat, you're really awesome. To be able to help us turn the tide, I really like you more and more. Sister Bai Ling, I like you a lot too. Why don't you be my wife? Chen Shang said with a smile, and then he also caressed Sha Bailing's face. Humph, you're such a good little rascal, I won't do it. Right, you mentioned earlier that you want some compensation, hurry up and say it. Sha Bailing urged, I've always been thinking about your compensation, so I feel very uncomfortable inside. Can you come with me to one place? I want to go back and see my wives. Because I've been hunted down so much these days, I'm afraid to go back. I'm worried about leading those guys to that place. Chen Shang said. Is it that simple? Sha Bailing asked. Yes, accompany me back for a while. Chen Shang replied, it won't take long. Sha Bailing thought for a moment, then nodded his head. I'll go back now, I have some matters to attend to first, wait for me. Chen Shang waited for more than 2 hours before she returned. Then, she said, I will directly go over. Quote. Sha Bailing possessed extremely strong spatial energy, so with her help, he would definitely be able to return very quickly. Chen Shang transferred the location of the hundreds of flowers villages book into her mind through transmission of memories, and after getting a rough idea of where it was, Sha Bailing teleported over with Chen Shang. In the blink of an eye, Chen Shang had already arrived near the hundreds of flowers village. When he was near the hundreds of flowers village, he could see that there was a huge city in the distance. Long Jushao had told him before that he would build a city and gather all the Dragon Clan 9 Heaven Schools and other races together. This way, it would be more convenient for everyone. The hundreds of flowers village was still in one place alone, and the defenses of this place were also very strong. Long Jushao had used a lot of energy to help them strengthen their defensive arrays. After all, Long Jushao was a grandmaster of formations. After Chen Shang brought Sha Bailing into the Change Village, Sha Bailing was amazed, because all of them were excellent women. Although their overall strength was not very strong, but she could see that all of the women had good potential. Chen Shang had also seen many familiar faces and he had greeted them before bringing Sha Bailing to LV Kilian's residence. Sister Kilian. When Chen Shang came in, he took out the communication jade symbol paper and sent a sound transmission to LV Kilian, telling her to wait for him in the hall. Seeing Chen Shang had returned, LV Kilian hurriedly said, I had thought that you would disappear for a long period of time again. I heard that undead divine race and the others are chasing after you, it's good that you can return now. LV Kilian looked at Sha Bailing, she was also used to Chen Shang bringing women every time he returned. She politely smiled at Sha Bailing, aren't you going to introduce her? Sister Kilian, don't let your imagination run wild. She's different from the woman I brought back previously. Chen Shang hurriedly said. He was worried that LV Kilian would misunderstand and then provoke the temperamental Sha Bailing with his words. I'm Sha Bailing. This little scoundrel helped me greatly, then I promised to return with him. Sha Bailing giggled, then patted Chen Zhang's shoulder, so you're the wife. LV Kilian smiled and nodded, looks like you are definitely very strong, if not he would not have let you escort him back. Right, are Sister Feng and the others here? Chen Shang asked. Yu Jia and Chao Yan are not here, they went to the 3 Money Divine City to look for you, but did not expect you to be here. LV Kilian said. 3 Money Divine City is looking for me. What are they looking for me for? Chen Shang felt that there must be something important. It's about your father. LV Kilian sighed. Father. Chen Shang became extremely excited. He only knew that his father had always been inside the 9 Heaven world, and was responsible for protecting Feng Yuji's grave in the past. He had lost contact with him later on and let Huang Jintian calculate that as well, but Huang Jintian could not calculate where his father was. Chapter 2485. LV Kilian nodded her head, she is only talking about your father. You should ask her about the specifics, she and Chao Yan will be staying in 3 Money Divine City for a while, you guys can still go and find them now. I know. Chen Zhang's heart was heavy at this moment, because he did not want to hear bad news about his father. Don't worry, your father is fine. Yu Jia only said that she found your father. LV Kilian held Chen Zhang's hand and calmed her down. Of course she knew what Chen Shang was feeling at this moment. Chen Shang was now much more relieved than usual. I will go look for Mei Yao and the others. I have just learned how to refine pills, I will teach them the art of alchemy. Alright, LV Kilian smiled sweetly at Chen Shang. If Sha Bailing was not here, they would definitely get along after a long separation. Chen Shang brought Sha Bailing and headed towards Su Mei Yao's small villa. Shang Yu, Sister Mei Yao. When Chen Shang entered the courtyard, he saw that these 2 seductive girls were playing around. Their clothes were also cool now, exposing their long legs and beautiful snow-white shoulders. With one glance, Sha Bailing could tell that the relationship between the 2 of them was not ordinary. These 2 bewitching enchantress actually made her feel a little moved, and she really wanted to go and strip her of all her clothes so that she could enjoy herself. You really do have quite a good luck with women. Sha Bailing sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang and snorted, You already have so many women by your side, but you're still thinking about me. Little scoundrel. When Su Meiyao saw Chen Shang bringing the woman back, he pretended to be jealous and flew to Chen Zhang's side. With a pout, he lightly pinched Chen Zhang's stomach. Stop messing around. Chen Shang glanced at her chest, curled his lips and said, Sister Feng is not here, you guys are so free now. No way, we just concocted a pill for a period of time. It's a good time to rest. Hua Shangyu walked over, and started stroking Chen Zhang's body. Enough, I have just taught you a kind of pill that I learned. This will allow you all to quickly reach the 10th stage of the Daopo realm. Chen Shang pinched both of their butts, causing them to let out a cry. They all know how to refine. Sha Bailing suddenly asked. She already understood the reason for Chen Zhang's return. It was to teach the pill technique to her own woman, because Chen Shang had just refined a Shengdao Dan in White Spirit City. Yes, not only them, there are also quite a few pretty girls who know how to refine pills. I'll bring you to see them now. Chen Shang laughed. Little scoundrel, who is this beauty? Did you eat them? Speaking of which, you are becoming more and more unimpressive, yet you did not eat Chao Yan and Hongqing. Su Meiyao giggled. Are you saying that since I'm no longer by your side, no one will give you courage anymore? In the past, Su Meiyao would often instigate Chen Shang to do such a thing when he was in the Serene Jade Ring. Don't spout nonsense. Sister Bai Ling is very strong, she is the type of girl that is very, very strong. Chen Shang was very serious, and when Hua Shangyu and Su Meiyao realized that Chen Shang was serious, they immediately restrained themselves. Sha Bailing laughed. It seems like Chen Shang has many things that I do not know. I want to stay here for a while, can I do it? That way I can exchange pill techniques with them. No, Sister Bai Ling is so busy, you still need to worry about the matters of an entire city. Chen Shang immediately said. It would be fine for Sha Bailing to stay here for a period of time, but she would definitely know about all kinds of things related to him. It's fine, White Spirit City is not busy, there's still 10 years left. Sha Bailing chuckled, then he went over to Su Meiyao and Hua Shangyu's side and pulled their jade hands. Little sisters, do you want me to stay or not? Of course. Su Meiyao laughed. Let's go, we will bring you to meet the other sisters. They are all great beauties. Hua Shangyu and Su Meiyao were already pulling Sha Bailing into the hall, and now, Wu Qianchen had just come out from a secret room. She saw Chen Shang, and smiled at him. After that, Ji Ling'er, Red Cloud and Du Yanyao all came out of their rooms and began to impart to them the method to refine the Shengdao Dan. They were very familiar with the heavenly alchemy, so it was not very difficult to learn it. When he finished imparting the skills to them, Chen Shang went to find Shui Shenxian and the others. Yuqing, have you seen your father? When Chen Shang entered the hall, he saw that Shu Yuqing was carving a round piece of jade very seriously. Husband, Shu Yuqing didn't sense anyone coming at all. When she saw Chen Shang, she shouted in pleasant surprise and threw herself into Chen Zhang's embrace. I saw him, he's fine, Shu Yuqing said. I am worried to death about you, listening to your master, you are being chased by the undead divine race. Hee, the guy chasing me has never had a good ending. Chen Shang pinched her pill. Refining. What about Shenxian and the others? They are all resting and haven't woken up yet. Shu Yuqing chuckled. Do you want to go in and see them? Seeing Shu Yuqing's ambiguous smile, Chen Shang immediately understood and entered the room. He saw that Lu Meng'er, Dongfang Xinyue and Shui Shenxian were all sleeping on the same bed. Jing was called away by Yulin. Those little sisters of hers would gather together every once in a while. Shu Yuqing had already taken off her clothes. Seeing his jade body, Chen Shang could no longer hold on to it, and upon learning that Chen Shang had returned, she anxiously came over, only to see Chen Shang and Shu Yuqing together. Chen Shang played with the few girls, then went to look for Sha Bailing and the others. At this time, they were refining Shengdao Dan, so he didn't want to disturb them. Senior Long, Chen Shang saw Long Jushao, and at the moment, he was practicing with a few young dragons, and when he saw Chen Shang, he quickly brought Chen Shang to a room. I heard that you went to the spirit wasteland. Long Jushao said, because Huang Yantian was also here. After calculating where Chen Shang was going, he would tell Long Jushao and LV Kilian. Yes, Chen Shang nodded. I brought back a Dao sovereign from inside. Senior, you know about the matters regarding spirit wasteland. Dao sovereigns are extremely powerful. However, their powers have been restricted. The stronger Dao sovereigns are, the greater their limitations are. Long Jushao frowned. Chen Shang immediately understood why the void in his vision and the azure sun were both brots. It turned out that both of them had been restricted. Why is it like this? Chen Shang asked. I don't know either. I don't know, not even the Tao sovereigns themselves. However, according to what they're saying, transcending the tribulation is a failure. Long Jushao said. Chapter 2486. Long Jushao seemed to be extremely knowledgeable about the ancient Eight Desolations, but Chen Shang lacked understanding of this aspect. He had asked Sha Bailing before, but Sha Bailing did not know much about it. Senior, how much do you know about the matters of the ancient desolation? Chen Shang asked. I only know a little bit that the ancient desolate land has mainly expanded too quickly, and thus has been separated by some sort of power into other dimensions. The current big chaotic times is a new Eight Desolations world, and the current new Eight Wastelands is also expanding too quickly. Long Jushao said. Chen Shang suddenly understood and said, all of this is for balance. Long Jushao nodded, that's right. Even though you've merged two eras, these two eras did not become chaotic because of this, but on the contrary, they have become balanced. However, this balance did not last for a very long time, so you allowed the ancient wasteland of time and space to return back to its normal path, existing together with the new Eight Wastelands. I only know that there are 3 Tao sovereigns in the spirit wasteland. They have built 3 cities, and the overall strength of the cities is quite strong. Chen Shang said. Although the spirit wasteland is a relatively small ancient desolation, there shouldn't be just 3 cities above. Of course, there must be other beings inside, it's just that you haven't seen them yet. Long Jushao replied, of course, in the ancient 8 wastelands, the beast wasteland is the strongest. The few wastelands were all linked together in the past and there were constant fights and killings. Beast wasteland, you sound very strong. Chen Shang recalled that the tiger rider in the spirit wasteland was a very powerful beast. Yes, the origin of our dragon race should be the beast wasteland. You should be clear about how powerful the heavenly beast is. Almost all of the heavenly beast are from the ancient beast wasteland. Long Jushao said, I just don't know if there are any more dragons above beast wasteland. There must be. With such a powerful dragon, maybe it can dominate the beast wasteland. Chen Shang laughed. It's hard to say, our dragon race is only being used here, but I heard that there are also 3 great native bank in the ancient 8 desolations. Hearing Long Jushao's words, Chen Shang hurriedly nodded, I've also seen the 3 great native bank S in Spirit Wasteland, so these 3 great native bank S are indeed very strange. The situation is getting more and more complicated, but we don't have to worry. At least we still have a lot of time to stabilize and develop. Long Jushao said, with my strength, even if some powers discovered our existence, I would still be able to resist. Now I am not afraid of that damned poison. Long Jushao had lost to him because of that poison back then. He felt that if he wasn't poisoned, he would definitely be able to defeat the other party. This was also why Chen Shang wasn't worried about Hundreds of Flowers Village. Long Jushao also knew that Hundreds of Flowers Village was extremely important to him. Although the Hundreds of Flowers village was filled with women, they had a large role to play. Most of the pills in this city were provided by the Hundreds of Flowers village. In the 9 Heaven School S, there were many alchemists and those that were trustworthy among them all knew how to refine pills. Their alchemy skills all originated from the heavenly alchemy and the herbs were all provided by the Hundreds of Flowers village. In the ancient wastelands, which wasteland is the most powerful? Chen Shang asked. I don't know about that, but I do know that the most mysterious thing is the divine wasteland. It is said that many terrifying fellows are gathered inside, which is also the reason why the ancient 8 wastelands were separated and lost their time and wander around. Long Jushao said in a deep voice, however, they should be with us now. If we are lucky, we might be able to find the divine wasteland. Beast wasteland, spirit wasteland, divine wasteland, and the other 5 ancient wastelands. Chen Shang asked. Human wasteland, mainly humans, then devil wasteland, evil wasteland. From the name, you should know what it is, and lastly there are the more powerful profound wasteland and sacred wasteland. Long Jushao said, the ancient 8 desolations include Beast Wasteland S, Spirit Wasteland S, Divine Wasteland S, Human Wasteland S, Evil Wasteland S, Profound Wasteland S and Sacred Wasteland S. New 8 Wastelands is one of the 5 Great Wastelands, and then there are the other 3. Chen Shang asked, he was only slightly concerned about her now. The new 8 Great Wastelands are dominated by humans. The other three are the Beast Wasteland, the Ice Wasteland and the Spirit Wasteland. As far as I know, there are 3 great native banks in all of these wasteland. Long Jushao said. Senior, then have you ever seen the most powerful person among the 3 great native banks? Chen Shang asked. No, they are all very strong, and they are not someone that can be seen at any time. I once wanted to go and see them, but I did not succeed. I was able to converse with one of them for a period of time, with his guidance, and benefited greatly. In short, they are all of that kind with relatively gentle personalities. They are mainly responsible for finding the ones with the greatest potential amongst humans, and they do not care too much about the affairs of the 3 great native banks. Long Jushao shook his head. In other words, the 3 great native banks of the primordial 8 desolations are the same as well. Chen Shang felt that this was kind of inconceivable. The ancient wasteland had wandered around in chaotic time and space for many years. Probably. Long Jushao nodded. So you must remember, do not ever offend the 3 great native banks, or else the consequences will be unimaginable. Chen Shang had already known about it since long ago, and the 3 great native banks gave him a good impression as well. Chen Shang, leave the heavenly magic sword here for a while. I'll help you repair it. Long Jushao said, this will be of great help to you in the future. Alright, since I will be staying in 3 Money Divine City for a while, it will be safer there. I will go retrieve it after some time. Chen Shang nodded. Chen Shang gave the heavenly magic sword to Long Jushao, then he went to find his old friends in the city. Every time Yun Xiaodao, Zhu Rong and the others saw Chen Shang, they would beat him up very rudely, letting him treat them to food and drinks. Chen Shang had already gotten used to it. These were his old friends that he grew up with. From time to time, he would gather with them and brag, making him very happy. Chen Shang stayed in the Hundreds of Flowers village for a few days and reminisced about old times with those beauties. He also saw Leng Yulin and Mu Chenxiang, his 2 battle-loving sisters. What made him surprised was that Sha Bailing actually decided to stay here for a period of time. In the morning, Chen Shang got up from LV Kilian's bed. LV Kilian had already put on her clothes and combed her beautiful hair. Last night, Chen Shang had already told her about Sha Bailing's situation and it gave her a huge shock. This was because the last few times she had seen Sha Bailing being like a mischievous little girl, chasing and playing with Long Shui in Hundreds of Flowers village. He was playing like a child, not like a Dao sovereign at all. Chen Shang, when you go find your father, if you encounter any problems, remember to be calm and not do anything stupid. Last night, Chen Shang told her many things about the ancient desolation. The current situation was extremely complicated, and Chen Shang, who loved to cause trouble, made her very worried. Chapter 2487. Gold House Home Page Total Clicklist Weekly Clicklist Monthly Clicklist General Collection Legacy Version Collect Golden House Set as First Page Gold Room Chinese, Golden Book House /images/hjw_10.jpg Golden Room Chinese, Golden Room /images/banner.jpg /images/hjw_15.jpg First Page. The articles query popular keywords. The great king of the Daolords is sparing your life in the myth of the era of flying swords. Light blue ocean, bright yellow, handsome green, light elegant red powder, aristocratic family, white world, gray world, gold house Chinese. Author's fantasy, oriental fantasy, upgrade, cultivation, hot blood, shuang shuang, beauty, queen palace, martial god, elegant, ambiguous, pills, silent rogue, arrogant pill god. More please remember the name of this site, the Golden House, proud of the world. Chen Shang was concerned about his father's matters. He did not stay for long as he brought Chu Hongqing and Yang Shangyan to the 3 Money Divine City. Sha Bailing was still unwilling to leave Hundreds of Flowers village. Perhaps she had never met her rival's playmates, and now that she met such a crazy girl in Hundreds of Flowers village, she was unwilling to leave. Sometimes, her temper was like that of a child's. Chen Shang felt that this was not a bad thing. At least with her in the Hundreds of Flowers village, it would make the place safer. He had once again returned to the 3 Money Divine City. Now that his villa had been taken over by Huang Jintian, Xie Chuyan and Feng Yuji were both inside. Because Chen Zhang's father once stood at the place Feng Yuji had hidden her power, which was the mysterious tomb. So now that there was news about his father, Feng Yuji had personally come over. Furthermore, she wanted to come over with Xie Chuyan to take a look at the 3 Money Divine Cities. In the future, they might enter the city often. Sister Feng, I didn't expect you to come in. Chen Shang laughed. Feng Yuji's current cultivation was not very high, only at the 3rd level of the Daodan realm. But he used a lot of jade coins. Xie Chuyan was more familiar with them now. When she saw Chen Shang, she also knew how to smile. It was not like how cold and indifferent she was in the past. What kind of fortuitous encounters did you have in the Spirit Desolate Land? Xie Chuyan had also entered the Spirit Wasteland before, and had later returned to Hundreds of Flowers village with Long Shuang and the others. There's a city inside. Chen Shang explained the situation inside, then asked, Sister Feng, you said that you have news about my father, do you know where he is? At this time, Huang Jintian came out with some fruit wine and said, your father is in a rather complicated situation. Feng Yuji nodded. The tomb your father was in earlier was specially refined, it is equivalent to a small island that can float at any time. Adding to that, there is a dragon vein below, and the huge change in Nine Heaven World, that small island has undergone a very strange evolution. Even small islands know how to evolve. Chen Shang was startled. The tomb was the world he was born in, he was already very familiar with the place. It was not an island, but a very large one. It had been missing for a period of time and had undergone a huge transformation. Many humans had died on it. That's nothing. After all, that island was specially refined. Perhaps because it had been supplied with energy by the dragon vein for a long time, it gradually gained its own intelligence. Huang Jintian said, everything has a spirit. You should understand it better. Chen Shang nodded his head. The mountain spirit he saw in the chaotic mountain was the same, and the little treeman he saw before was about the same. I didn't expect such a change. It's no longer something we can control. I suddenly had a reaction to this island before. Feng Yuji said, that island is still in this era. Huang Jintian said, because of the merging of the two eras, the Nine Heaven World and the Star Law Divine Realm no longer exist and are all in the wasteland. Originally, the island should be like this, but because it has a spirit and is considered a living being, it did not integrate into the wasteland and is able to stand on its own. Chen Shang said in surprise, doesn't that mean that it's an independent world? Huang Jintian nodded, yes, but if you don't have enough strength, it will be difficult to protect you. And this island has only just appeared, so there must have been many things that happened before. Quote, I know where that island is. I have a feeling, but I feel that it is a bit far away. Feng Yuji sighed, and we are still relatively weak right now, so it's not convenient for us to face danger in the long run. Chen Shang also felt that this was a rather difficult task, although he had many methods, but if he were to meet someone extremely strong, he had no other choice. For example, a powerful Dao sovereign like Sha Bailing who knew how to use the laws of space. Once he met someone like her who specialized in dealing with him, he wouldn't be far from death. That's not a problem. Chen Shang immediately thought of Sha Bailing. He felt that with his relationship with Sha Bailing, it would definitely not be a problem for her to follow him. There's a very powerful Dao sovereign in the Hundreds of Flowers village. I just came from the White Spirit City and she only wanted to escort me back. I never expected her to stay in the Hundreds of Flowers village and not leave. Chen Shang laughed, with her accompanying me, it will definitely be very safe. Really? When Feng Yuji heard the two words Dao Sovereign, she also felt that it was very powerful. Is there really a Dao Sovereign in the Hundreds of Flowers village? Was it a man or a woman? You actually refused to leave Hundreds of Flowers village. Xie Chuyan was also very surprised. With a single glance, she could tell that she was very clear on the Dao Sovereign's strength. Female. Chen Shang laughed, do you want to go back and see her now? She is also an alchemist, and her alchemy skills are quite special. She doesn't know how to release flames, but she can make use of external flames to successfully refine pills. Quote, this is an eccentric apothecary. Alright, let's head back to take a look at her now. Feng Yuji's eyes lit up. She actually liked to interact with those weird pill refiners. For example, when she was together with Xie Chuyan, she learned a lot of things from her. MN, be careful on your way back. Don't forget to have them teach you the method to refine Shengdaodan. If you eat Shengdaodan, you can quickly advance to the 10th level of the Daodan realm. Chen Shang said. Alright, when we are all at the 10th stage of the Daodan realm, let's see if we can get the female Dao sovereign that you mentioned to come here with us to find you. Feng Yuji nodded. After Xie Chuyan and Feng Yuji left, Chen Shang took out a few Shengdaodan pellets refined by Chu Hongqing and gave them to Huang Jintian, saying, Master, you are still in the Daodan realm right now, eating these pellets will allow you to reach the 10th stage of the Dao pellet very quickly. Huang Jintian quickly took it and smiled, let me try and see if this kind of Dan is really that good. After seeing Huang Jintian leave, Chen Shang shook his head and smiled, then entered a pill refining room. He was going to refine some Shengdao Dan and use them to sell. Hongyi, it will be a bit more difficult during this period of time. Let's refine 100 pills first, said. He could also grow the stone-like materials used to refine Shengdao Dan, so Chen Shang had a lot of materials as well. Only 100 pills. This is too easy. Her current pill refining skills had also increased by a lot. Although the number of pills produced in one furnace was not as many as Chen Shang, the difference in speed and quality was almost the same. 100 pills was extremely fast for Chen Shang and Chu Hongqing. It only took him 3 days to refine 120 pills, and the advantage of the heavenly refining technique was that as long as he was able to refine the same pill more often, he would be able to refine even faster and faster. Chapter 2488. When Chen Shang walked out of the pill refining room, he saw Huang Jintian sitting in the hall with a face full of smiles, drinking fruit wine with his legs crossed. Master, how are the effects of the Shengdao Dan? Chen Shang asked. The effect is not ordinary. Huang Jintian gave Chen Shang a big thumbs up. Taking you in as my disciple is the most correct thing to do in my life, hee. Other people are all helped by Master, why do you always look like you are my friend now? Chen Shang laughed, then took out a cup and poured himself some fruit wine. There's nothing I can do about it. Who asked you to lay your hands on a useless master like me? That's why I'm sure I'll be able to eat you for the rest of my life. Huang Jintian laughed. Help me count my dad, see if I can calculate his current situation. Chen Shang laughed, you have truly received my benefits. When Huang Jintian took out his Tianyan God Record S, he needed to use them even when he was doing something difficult. It seems that this is the only use I have in your eyes. Huang Jintian laughed. After he took out the Tianyan God Record, he began to count. Huang Jintian's Tianyan God Record S could only be seen by himself, so when outsiders looked at them, they were all transparent. But now, Chen Shang could see that the flat surface of the crystal board was filled with white words that he could not understand. Huang Jintian frowned, his expression did not look good. Master, Chen Shang shouted. He began to worry too, because Huang Jintian rarely had such expressions. Huang Jintian opened his eyes, his expression solemn. Master, what was the result? Chen Shang asked quickly. It's hard to say, but your father is still alive, but the situation isn't too good. The life evolution I used just now can be considered as a life force technique. I think your father's life force is a bit weak, so this situation isn't good. Huang Jintian patted Chen Zhang's shoulder, but you don't have to worry, I've already calculated his lifespan a few times already, but there's no obvious signs of him dying. The situation of this world was very complicated. Although the Tao Sovereign was strong, he was not invincible, and Sha Bailing and the rest of the people in the spirit wasteland were also facing many strong enemies. Master, you are currently at the 10th level of the Dao Dan realm. Chen Shang asked. Soon, Huang Jintian said. Chen Shang gave him another Shengdao Dan and said, eat this, I'll go take a look around first. It had been a while since Chen Shang left the Three Money Divine City, and the Three Money Divine City was only recently built, but now, it had become much more lively. In order to attract more people to come in, the three great native banks lowered their standards so that they could enter. The Dao Dan realm could then come in, and they would need more jade money than before. Although Chen Shang had 20 billion jade money, thinking about how he used so many of them in order to enter, he felt a little displeased. He did not change his appearance as he strutted down the street. There were a lot of people in Three Money Divine City who recognized him, so after they saw him, they all stepped aside. Did you guys hear? Chen Shang also went to the mysterious spirit wasteland. I heard that the limitless three elders of the infinite divine mountain also went to the spirit wasteland and all of them went missing. Could it be that they died? Chen Shang and Infinite Divine Mountain have a deep grudge against each other. Earlier, Limitless Three Elders wanted to capture Xie Chaoyan, but Chen Shang saved him. The three elders of the Infinite Divine Mountain were extremely famous in the New Eight Wastelands. Back then, when they had helped the esoteric immortality fruit catch Xie Chaoyan, the news had already spread and it was Xie Chaoyan who had come back to tell the master of the Zhang family, Zhang Yingqi. Because Zhang Yingqi had received a pill bestowed to him by Xie Chaoyan, he, who was loyal to the heavens, immediately announced that he would cut off all contact with the Infinite Divine Mountain after hearing of this matter. Of course, this was only a guess. It was unrealistic for Chen Shang to kill the 3 limitless elders, moreover, it was still uncertain whether the 3 limitless elders died or not. Chen Shang did not kill them, but they were sealed, so their life orbs would not shatter, at most they would just disappear, and they would not know that this matter was related to him. When Chen Shang arrived at the 3 Money Divine City's huge fighting arena, he knew that Zhang Xian would definitely be there. As expected, when he entered the fighting arena, he saw that Zhang Xian was fighting with other people. He's probably at the 4th level of the Daodan realm. Chen Shang estimated Zhang Xian's cultivation. After being kicked out, a portion of his cultivation had been crippled, which was why he had backed off. This also caused him to become the laughingstock of the Zhang family, but now, he was working very hard, running all the way to this place to fight in order to earn jade money. Even though he was laughed at in the Zhang clan, he should have the most jade money in the young disciples of the Zhang clan. After the battle ended, Zhang Xian raised both of his arms up high and shouted excitedly, showing that he had won the round. The 100,000 spectators in the arena also started to shout his name, loud and clear. Zhang Xian was very famous now, every fight he fought was full of people, and he earned a lot of jade money from selling tickets in the fighting arena. Chen Shang was standing at a relatively high place and had noticed him. Seeing Chen Shang return, he quickly finished interacting with the audience and rushed over to find Chen Shang. "Brother Shen, are you all right?" Zhang Xian knew that Chen Shang had gone to the spirit wasteland, and because Chen Shang had saved Xie Chaoyan in the spirit wasteland, he had angered many powers, and Chen Shang had 2 heavenly artifacts, which were also wanted by many powers. Just that when many people were heading towards spirit wasteland, Chen Shang was back. "Do you think I would die at the hands of those fellows? But then again, I have gained a lot from this trip to the spirit wasteland." Chen Shang laughed. Of course, not only did he obtain the heavenly life fruit, he also took away the heart of a beauty like Xie Chaoyan. This kind of gain is indeed not small. Zhang Xian laughed out loud. Chen Shang shook his head and laughed. He flipped his palm, and 2 Shengdao Dan appeared on it, and laughed. "This is my biggest gain, do you want to try it?" Zhang Xian had never seen this kind of gold-red Shengdao Dan, and frowned. "What kind of pill is this, to be able to fight after eating it? It's really powerful." "I won't tell you for now, Brother Zhang, you must have earned quite a lot of jade money recently, eating these 2 pills. If there's any effect, you can just give me the jade money based on your mood. If you don't think it's of any use to you, you can leave it to me." Chen Shang laughed. "Chen Shang, you're already so rich, but you're still planning to earn my jade money." Zhang Xian laughed and had already put the 2 Shengdao Dan into his mouth. He had absolute trust in Chen Shang, so he didn't care whether they were poison pills or not, and ate them. After eating, Zhang Xian's expression changed, and became somewhat excited. At this time, he could feel the strong medicinal power. Chapter 2489. After Zhang Xian consumed it for a moment, he continued to refine the medicinal power. "That won't do, wait for a while for me. The medicinal power is too strong. After I refine it, I'll come to your villa to find you." After Zhang Xian finished speaking, he ran off without a trace. He wanted to find a quiet place to go into closed-door cultivation. Chen Shang chuckled, then left the fighting arena and came to Eternal Life Native Bank. "Grandpa Shen, what can I do for you?" With a smile on his face, an elder hurriedly walked over. "Sir, your cultivation isn't low either. You're so much stronger than me. I won't get used to you calling me sir." Chen Shang laughed. "Then Boss Shen should be able to handle it, right?" The old man laughed and patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. "It's rather pleasing to the ears." Chen Shang laughed. Chen Shang was brought by the old man to a luxurious living room. He sat on a comfortable soft beast skin chair, and drank a sweet fruit juice. "You already have a purple jade plate, so you should enjoy this treatment." The old man smiled and said, "I wonder why you have come today." "I came here to find someone from the upper echelons of Native Bank. I wonder if I can talk to them now?" Chen Shang asked. "This is definitely not a problem. With your peerless pill techniques and the 20 billion jade money that you have, furthermore, with your 2 heavenly artifacts, you are definitely qualified." The old man smiled and said, "I'll help you make the report now." Chen Shang smiled and nodded. After the old man left, 2 beautiful women who were rarely seen walked in. They were in charge of serving Chen Shang. "This is status." Chen Shang drank a mouthful of fruit juice as he praised in his heart. His cultivation was not high, but he was still treated like this because of pill techniques. Chu Hongqing saw the two spirit demon women beside Chen Shang, and immediately felt uncomfortable. She snorted, "Can't you let Shang Yin and I come out to serve you?" She felt that she and Yang Shangyan were the genuine maid of Chen Shang, but they had never really served Chen Shang before. When Chu Hongqing followed him, they both refined pills and grew medicinal herbs, and other than growing medicinal herbs, Yang Shangyan would also occasionally play the beautiful zither music to relieve Chen Zhang's boredom. Chen Shang let the two bewitching women leave, then said with a smile, "Are you feeling comfortable now?" "That's more like it." Chu Hongqing smiled tenderly, "Then do you want me to go out now?" "No need, you guys just stay inside. I don't want you guys to show your faces." Chen Shang said. He loved his own servant very much. Not long after, a handsome man wearing a simple robe with a mustache walked in. He had a jade fan in his hand, which made him look gentle and gentle. His smile was very modest, making it very easy for people to get a good impression of him. "I count as the third master of the Eternal Life Native Bank." The man smiled and cupped his hands towards Chen Shang. "My name is Fan Shixin. Villa owner Fan looks so young, he really surprises me." Chen Shang laughed. "Why, do you think I'm an old man?" Fan Shixin made a gesture to invite her to sit down. "Do you have any business with me?" Fan Shixin was the third master of the Eternal Life Native Bank in the 8 Desolations, so his strength was definitely not ordinary. Although he looked like an ordinary person, his hidden strength was definitely not simple. "Are you interested in opening a new city with Native Bank S?" Chen Shang asked. He was planning to bring the Eternal Life Native Bank to the city that Long Juxiao built. How big the city is, and what kind of composition it is filled with dense spirit energy. When our native bank is opening, we will consider this factor, and if it meets the requirements, we are naturally very willing. Fan Shixin said, "This city shouldn't have been secretly built by you, right? If that's the case, we will consider it." "I didn't build it." Chen Shang spread out his hands, "But the person who built this city had once worked in your Eternal Life Native Bank, and was once your moneymaker. His name is Long Juxiao. So it's him. Seems like your relationship with him isn't that bad. Your heavenly furnace should be a gift from him." Fan Shixin smiled and nodded. "I do know him. He has great potential and also very much ambitions. When he left our native bank, I told him that we could come back anytime. However, later on, I heard that he encountered a lot of trouble. Furthermore, he was poisoned. I believe that you have already cured him of his poison." Chen Shang nodded, "But he still has many enemies. Let me be clear on this point first, the city he built, and the various races in the city could be in danger in the future." Quote. Fan Shixin laughed, "Don't worry about that, as long as it's worth it for our native bank to station here, it won't be a problem for us. You want our native bank to open up a new city, you also want to ensure the safety of the city, right?" "Yes." Chen Shang nodded his head, "There are humans in that city, but they aren't all humans. There are other races." After that, Chen Shang explained the specific situation of the city. Hearing that there were so many dragons inside, Fan Shixin interrupted Chen Shang and sent someone to investigate. At the same time, he told Chen Shang that just this point was enough for their native bank to be opened up to that place. "When the time comes, not only will we be able to get there, the 3 Lives Native Bank and the Lifeless Native Bank will also be there. With the 3 of us here, the city will be extremely safe." Fan Shixin said. "We thought that you had come from the Ancient Desolation, but we've been in contact with the Ancient Desolation's native bank for a while now, and we couldn't find anything related to you. Furthermore, the races you mentioned are rather strange as well, such as the undead divine race. They shouldn't be so gentle to be able to get along with you." Fan Shixin was extremely familiar with the new 8 Wastelands and the Ancient 8 Desolations, but what Chen Shang had said was completely different. "I wish we could be friends." Fan Shixin smiled sincerely at Chen Shang. "Alright, Eternal Life Native Bank has always been very mysterious in my eyes. However, I feel that I can trust the both of you." Chen Shang laughed, "This might take some time. I will listen patiently." Fan Shixin smiled and nodded, "Of course, I won't take advantage of you. I will also tell you some things about our 3 great native banks." Afterwards, Chen Shang told Fan Shixin about the fusion of 2 eras, and it was even him who facilitated it. Of course, he also emphasized on the combination of undead divine race and red spirit race. Fan Shixin did not know about this matter, so after he heard about it, his face became extremely gloomy. Chapter 2490. If you come from the future, how about we 3 native banks in the future? Fan Shixin took a deep breath and asked. He seemed to be extremely concerned about this matter. You no longer exist. As far as I know, your disappearance originated from some sort of powerful and mysterious power. The reason why I allowed you all to die was also to balance out the two of you. Chen Shang said. Fan Shixin sighed and said, as expected. Chen Shang was secretly shocked. This Fan Shixin actually knew of such an outcome, and said, but the situation now is different. Fan Shixin naturally understood what Chen Shang meant. In other words, when the future undead divine race and undead divine race returned to this era, they would be on equal footing with the three great native banks. If a monster like the three great native bank was destroyed, Chen Shang was extremely shocked by the power. I will send someone to take care of the matters concerning the Heavenly Dragon City. Fan Shixin said, right now, I have to say a few things to the higher-ups. All right, Chen Shang nodded. Fan Shixin left in a hurry. He did not expect the three native banks to not know about this at all. Chen Shang left the Eternal Life native bank and returned to his villa. After concocting pills with Chu Hongqing for 2 days, Zhang Xian suddenly came over. When Zhang Xian saw Chen Shang, he immediately burst into laughter, praising the effects of the Shengdao Dan. He handed Chen Shang a storage bag and said, "This is 100 million jade money, they are all earned by me in the past few days." Too many. Chen Shang didn't think that Zhang Xian would give him that much either. I was worried that you might think you were lacking, but who would have thought that you would be able to help me break through so quickly? This kind of pill is really mysterious, it's not easy to raise Dao Dan realm. Zhang Xian said. I only want 20 million jade money. Take the rest back, Chen Shang said. Take them all, I'll be able to earn them back very soon. Moreover, I don't know how to spend these jade money either. Zhang Xian said. Chen Shang could only accept them all now, and gave Zhang Xian another 8 Shengdao Dan. Zhang Xian never thought that Chen Shang still had that many. After obtaining the 8 Shengdao Dan, he directly asked Chen Shang for a secret room, then ran off to close up. Looks like selling this Shengdao Dan for 15 million is not a problem. Chen Shang laughed. Of course, there are many who are trapped in the Dao Dan realm, especially those who are unable to break through and are about to die of old age. To them, this is equivalent to a life-extending divine pill. Chu Hongqing said. Chen Shang, we're here. Chen Shang suddenly heard a voice from outside. It was regarding Feng Yuji. Chen Shang did not expect them to arrive so quickly, so he hurried to open the door, only to see Feng Yuji and Sha Bailing. Didn't Chao Yan come? Chen Shang asked. No, the Heavenly Dragon City wanted to build 3 native banks, so she stayed. She was more familiar with the affairs of the native bank. Feng Yuji said. Sha Bailing stuck his tongue out at Chen Shang. Little scoundrel, when I help you get your father back, you must repay me properly. Sister Bai Ling, you promised to pay me back, but now you've helped me get my dad back. You can say that you've returned the favor. Chen Shang said. All right, Sha Bailing walked in and said, when will you be leaving? We're ready to go. Chen Shang found Huang Jintian and said, Master, there are 50 Shengdao Dan here, one of them is for 15 million. Zhang Xian is here too. When he comes out, you should find him and discuss about how to make them famous, don't eat them secretly. When I come back, I will concoct this pill on a large scale. Chen Shang warned. Got it, be careful on your way. Huang Jintian received the jade box with a smile. I guarantee that I won't steal anything. Seeing his smile, Chen Shang was not at ease, but there was nothing he could do. Let's go, Chen Shang said to Sha Bailing and Feng Yuji. Feng Yuji knew where the island was, so she had to follow Chen Shang. It was safer for her to enter the Yuyao Mountain Villa, but she could not sense the direction of the island. Feng Yuji did not know the exact location of the island, he only knew the direction, so he was unable to bring Chen Shang there right away. When Sha Bailing and Chen Shang left the 3 Money Divine City, they took Chen Shang with them and teleported for the better part of the day. Because Sha Bailing always teleported in the direction that Feng Yuji pointed to, Feng Yuji had pointed to many times, but each time it was different. That island is moving, and it's moving at a faster speed. Feng Yuji said, I can't feel the direction either. Chen Shang took out the 6 Realms mirrors, allowed it to grow a little, and then allowed Feng Yuji to exit the Yuyao Mountain Villa. This mirror of yours is really a good thing. When Sha Bailing saw it, his face was filled with envy. You bastard, it's fine if you have so many beautiful women, but there are also so many good things. There's no helping it, it's all because of my good character. Chen Shang chuckled. Sister Feng, now look at your senses, and see if the position is not constantly moving. It seems like I cannot teleport there, I can only change my direction based on the position of the island. Feng Yuji closed his eyes. After sensing it for a while, he said with a frown, that island is very strange, it is jumping around, and its position doesn't move slowly but rather is equivalent to teleportation. Sha Bailing said, if it's really like that, then it's hard to find any more, I have to think of a way. Chen Shang curled his lips and said, you're a Tao sovereign and have such high attainments in spatial energy. Don't tell me you have nothing you can do. He's a Tao sovereign, but he's not invincible. Sha Bailing scoffed, I do have a way, but it'll be a bit harder for me. How hard it will be? Chen Shang asked. It will make me very tired, and then I will need to rest for a few days to recover. Sha Bailing said. Chen Shang had already guessed what she was talking about, she was just using a lot of power to teleport herself in one breath. This could teleport a very far distance, if he could see the island, he wouldn't need to worry about the island jumping around as long as he entered. Alright, Sister Feng, start sensing it. Chen Shang said. Feng Yuji immediately closed her eyes and said, the position is jumping too frequently right now, almost every moment for a position. I don't know what's going on. It stopped. It's over there. Feng Yuji immediately pointed in a direction and also channeled his spatial energy, teleporting away. After teleporting over, Chen Shang and the others immediately saw a huge, pitch-black island in the distance in the sky. It looked eerie and terrifying, and Chen Shang also felt a sense of familiarity towards the place he was born in. Just a little more, Sha Bailing said, and just as she was about to teleport over, such a huge island suddenly disappeared. What lousy thing is this? Chen Shang immediately scolded, such a big thing, it ran away in the blink of an eye. Sha Bailing said with a grave expression on his face, this is a punishment of the law. Chapter 2491. Law Punishment. What is that? Chen Shang asked. That island was too strange, she was unable to chase after him immediately, so she could teleport so far away in one breath. After Sha Bailing took out a pellet to recover his strength and ate it, he said, the law's punishment is used to punish the life of a special existence. For example, this island has a consciousness of its own, but it violates the law. So that's it, why would there be such a punishment? Chen Shang still didn't understand. The main reason is to prevent other creatures from entering this island, and at the same time, to prevent this island from landing on this land. I don't know why I'm punishing them either. This could be related to what the island did after it gained its spirit. Sha Bailing said, wait until I recover and continue to chase, I should be able to. Chen Shang nodded. Since he had already begun to search for his own father, he would not give up. He too wanted to know what happened on that island to actually receive such a punishment. Sha Bailing took a few more pills, which could help her recover a little faster. Once she recovered, she could continue to track that island. Feng Yuji closed his eyes and tried to sense it, then said, this island is constantly moving, is that what you want it to do? Sha Bailing nodded his head, it should be, this island is also resisting, if not it would not have stayed here for a period of time. It seems that this island wants to land on the ground, and only by landing on the desolate land, can the island absorb the energy of the land. Chen Shang had seen that island before, it looked like it was filled with the aura of death, it was extremely scary, he now understood a little. The punishment of the laws was to sever the connection between that island and the 8 desolate lands, and let that island die on its own. Chen Shang knew how powerful that island was. It could produce a dragon vein on its own, and when it landed, it would definitely frantically draw out the energy of the Earth's core, nurturing an even stronger dragon vein beneath him. I have recovered. Yu Jia, get ready. At this time, Sha Bailing had become serious as well. It was because she was extremely interested in this matter and also because this matter was extremely difficult, that caused her to have a competitive spirit. She must chase to that island and enter it to investigate. Feng Yuji nodded, then pointed in a direction. Sha Bailing immediately teleported over. This time they were very close to the island, just a bit away from entering it, but Sha Bailing shouted loudly instead. What's wrong? Chen Shang asked hurriedly. The gigantic black island floating in the air also disappeared in a flash. It's nothing. That island has a very powerful enchantment that cannot be broken through. Otherwise, we would have definitely been inside. Sha Bailing shook his head. It's quite difficult, let's try again. After taking 2 pellets, Sha Bailing quickly recovered. Just now, the island wasn't too far away from them, and when Sha Bailing entered the spatial passageway, he could immediately feel the aura of the island, which allowed him to determine the distance. Sister Bai Ling, this time, you just need to get close to the island. Once you enter the spirit formation, leave it to me. Chen Shang said. He had the white tiger's jump, he wanted to see if he could break through the island's barrier. Sha Bailing said, you really can. If I can't even use my spatial energy, don't force yourself. If I hadn't controlled it in time, I would have definitely been injured by the rebound of the barrier. That kind of power is too terrifying. Quote. Chen Shang nodded his head, I can try, you don't have to worry about me. She had stayed in the Hundreds of Flowers village for a few days, and from those women, she had learned a lot of things related to Chen Shang, which were all quite shocking stories. After Sha Bailing recovered, he nodded towards Feng Yuji, indicating that they can begin. Feng Yuji quickly sensed the position of the island after it had teleported, and immediately teleported there. After teleporting, the moment Chen Shang saw the island, his mind immediately moved, and he channeled all of his strength, even borrowing a lot of the power of the spatial laws to activate his White Tiger Dao Mark. Under the power of the White Tiger Dao Mark, he rode his 6 realms mirrors and teleported to the island with Feng Yuji. He successfully broke through the barrier. Come in, Chen Shang laughed. Sister Feng, you can enter Yuyao Mountain Villa. You are safer inside. Feng Yuji nodded and then entered the Yuyao Mountain Villa, but Sha Bailing was extremely surprised and asked, how did you get in? Something that even I can't sit on, you actually did it. Quote. Hee, this is my secret, this is the power of my Dao Mark. At this time, he was still riding on his 6 realms mirrors and entering the mountain forest inside the island. The island was shrouded in darkness, with black clouds everywhere. There was not a single ray of light from the sky, and the evil aura of death was everywhere, causing people to feel uncomfortable. What happened to this island? Could it be that many people have died before? Even if I got punished by the law, it shouldn't be like this. Sha Bailing exclaimed in surprise. Chen Zhang's 6 realms mirrors had a formation that prevented the outside world's chi from entering, otherwise, it would be extremely uncomfortable. Chen Shang shook his head. I don't know either, in short, my father is on top of this, I have to find him. In order to find Shen Tianyu, Chen Shang was currently taking a huge risk, because he wasn't sure how he would go out after entering the room. This is a dead island. It should be because it's completely sealed up by a law barrier and unable to absorb any aura from the outside. That's why it became like this. Of course, there must have been a lot of creatures that died on this island. Moreover, after these creatures died, they were unable to release their resentment and could only gather on this island. As time passed, they became like this. Sha Bailing said. The entire island was tightly sealed, and no aura would leak out or enter. This was how this island was being held up. My father is still alive. Chen Shang said. Undead divine race probably calculated it. They are more accurate in calculating these things. Sha Bailing nodded, she did not want Chen Shang to worry too. As Chen Shang entered the island, all the trees that he saw were completely withered and were covered in a layer of black stuff. He walked over to the trunk of a large tree and touched it with his hands, only to realize that the black thing that wrapped around the tree was a layer of black stuff. What is this? Chen Shang sniffed it, but it did not smell anything. Let me take a look. Sha Bailing took out a jade plate, and asked Chen Shang to place the black object on top of his finger onto the jade plate. Chen Shang pointed at the center of the jade plate, and the jade plate that was made of white jade instantly turned into black mist. Poison, Sha Bailing shouted in shock, and then he used his spatial energy to send the poisonous gas outside. What poison is this? Why am I fine? Chen Shang was also a little worried, he had touched it just now and sniffed it, but it was fine now. Absolute poison. Sha Bailing's face paled, she was actually frightened to this extent. Chapter 2492. Chen Shang immediately looked at his own fingers, but nothing happened. Death poison. What is it? Chen Shang was currently letting the 6 realms mirrors fly higher, because the lower part, the thicker it was. Do you feel anything wrong with your body? Sha Bailing's face was full of panic as she asked. Her delicate face was as white as paper from fright, it was strange in this pitch-black place. No, what about you? Chen Shang asked. Sister Bai Ling, your face is not good. Sha Bailing frowned. Are you really alright? This is impossible. Legend has it that once someone touches the death poison, they will die without a doubt. Quote. What exactly is death poison? Maybe that thing just now was not it. Chen Shang said. No, it must be. I recognize that smell, I've seen it before. When Sha Bailing spoke, her delicate body couldn't help but tremble slightly as fear filled her face. It was as if a little girl that had been frightened in the middle of the night had started to tremble. Sister Bai Ling, don't be afraid. Chen Shang immediately pulled her into his embrace. Sha Bailing's delicate body was actually extremely cold, and Chen Shang immediately released some fire energy to warm her up. Don't be afraid, I'm here. Chen Shang never thought that the death poison would actually arouse the fear in Sha Bailing's heart. Maybe the death poison had given her a deep shadow before, which was why she felt so afraid when she thought back to the past. Sha Bailing hugged Chen Shang tightly, her delicate body also trembling extremely badly, but as Chen Shang lightly carried her back, and felt the warmth coming from Chen Zhang's body, she had gradually recovered, yet she was still hugging Chen Shang. Sister Bai Ling, are you feeling better now? Chen Shang asked. Sha Bailing placed his face against Chen Zhang's chest and sat on Chen Zhang's thigh. Both of his arms were wrapped around Chen Shang, and his entire body was curled up in Chen Zhang's embrace. Chen Shang originally did not plan to ask further about the death poison. He was worried that this would cause Sha Bailing to be even more afraid, but Sha Bailing still said it out loud. When I was very young, I had seen the deadly poison. At that time, our family members all died in this poison, and I don't know why, but a black rain suddenly fell, and then everyone died. I was born with the power of the space laws, so I used my space barrier to protect myself, so I wasn't poisoned. Sha Bailing slowly spoke in a very soft voice. After that, everyone in our city died. Our city was very big, there were over 100 million people in there. After they all died, the city was sealed up. It's just like this place, full of poisonous gas and endless grievance. Quote. Chen Shang gently caressed her face, then hugged her close, giving her warmth and a sense of security. Later on, I lived in that city for over 100 years, and that memory was sealed away by me. Just now, when I saw the deadly poison and smelled that smell, it brought back my memories. I was still a child then, living in that fear every day. Chen Shang had thought about it himself. If he had lived in this city with billions of dead people for so long, it would already be rare for him not to go crazy. He suddenly understood why Sha Bailing was like a little girl at times. It was because the experiences from her childhood were like a nightmare to her, so she chose to seal that portion of her memories and only retained the happiest moments of her childhood. Humph, little scoundrel, take advantage of me. Sha Bailing lightly pinched Chen Zhang's chest, then pouted at Chen Shang. She was currently still in Chen Zhang's embrace. Of course not, aren't I concerned about you? Chen Shang wanted to let go of her, but she refused to do so no matter what. Look, you're the one taking advantage of me right now. Chen Shang laughed. I don't care, I'm scared. Sha Bailing scoffed, then laid in Chen Zhang's embrace. Why don't you enter the Yuyao Mountain Villa? The environment inside is very good. Chen Shang laughed, then fiercely lowered her head and kissed Sha Bailing's beautiful face. Being ambushed by Chen Shang, Sha Bailing was infuriated, but she only pinched Chen Zhang's arm, and then pouted playfully, Scoundrel, you even said that you didn't take advantage of me, and unexpectedly took an inch, and kissed my face. I can't help it, seeing how beautiful you are. Chen Shang laughed. Go inside the Yuyao Mountain Villa, it won't scare you like that. Sha Bailing pinched Chen Zhang's face and said, okay, let me in. Chen Shang took the opportunity to pinch her buttocks, and sent her into Yuyao Mountain Villa. At the same time, he also heard Sha Bailing cursing from inside. When Sha Bailing entered the Yuyao Mountain Villa, she knew that he was Chen Zhang's divine sense sea world, but she never expected him to be so beautiful. It was only then that she found out that Chen Shang had always been carrying around two extremely beautiful servant girls, and this caused her to uncontrollably scold Chen Shang a few more times. Little scoundrel, why didn't you get poisoned? Both Shu Kong and Qingyang have seen how powerful the deadly poison is. They say that even Dao sovereigns find it difficult to defend against it, but you're actually fine. Even when Sha Bailing thought about it this way, he still couldn't understand what was going on. I don't know either. But I already had my impenetrable a long time ago. Chen Shang said. He had just heard Sha Bailing talk about how strong the death poison was, but he did not know how strong it was. Right now, he was even more worried about Shen Tianyu. In this kind of environment, it would be difficult for him to survive, and if Huang Jintian did not tell him that Shen Tianyu had a very long life ahead of him, he would probably be extremely miserable right now. Chen Shang wrote on his 6 realms mirrors. Under normal circumstances, it would be safer, he did not know what happened on this island either, nor did he know what happened to meet this kind of calamity that could destroy the world. Sister Bai Ling, why did your city have this poison back then? Chen Shang saw that Sha Bailing was having fun in the Yuyao Mountain Villa, so he asked. I don't know either. Many years have passed and I can't find out why. However, Qingyang and the others back in the city were also attacked by this deadly poison and a black rain suddenly fell. The moment the rain touched the rain, the living beings would gradually melt and everything else would be covered by the black liquid and gradually rot. Sha Bailing was no longer so afraid. Because Feng Yuji, Chu Hongqing and Yang Shangyan were all inside, and Yang Shangyan was even playing a beautiful zither that could soothe the soul. Could it be that the city where you three Dao sovereigns lived all those years ago suffered the same punishment as this island? Chen Shang said, then how did you come out of it all those years ago? One day, I suddenly saw a golden light in the city. When I ran over, I touched a golden light and came out. Later on, I used many things to search for the city, but I couldn't find it. Sha Bailing said, I found something in the void. He said that it was a poison punishment. Chapter 2493. Chen Shang faintly felt that Sha Bailing and the others, as the three Dao sovereigns from the book, had been punished by some kind of power on purpose. Sister Bai Ling, could this be done by the heavenly Dao? Chen Shang asked. I don't know. The heavenly Dao is a very mysterious existence. I don't think he did it, but it's very likely that the rules he set worked. Or perhaps the law of the heavens has mutated, which is why our city is punished. YBDU, Sha Bailing said, I had frequently discussed this matter with the Azure Sky Sun in the past, but I did not get any results. I have not mentioned it ever since. Chen Shang allowed the Six Realms mirrors to fly a little higher. Although this place was filled with terrifying death poison, Chen Shang was still cautious about what was hidden inside. Is your father really up here? Sha Bailing asked. It should be. Chen Shang sighed, because the situation on the island was not looking good, and danger was everywhere. You don't have to worry too much. I also survived in this kind of environment. Sha Bailing laughed. She also felt like she had lost her family, so she was also comforting Chen Shang right now. Chen Shang nodded. He did not know how to start searching this place. This place was so huge, it was equivalent to a huge continent. But no matter how big it was, as long as he did not have any news on Shen Tianyu, he would not leave this place. Sister Bai Ling, how did the two Dao sovereigns Qingyang and Shu Kong survive in such an environment all those years ago? Chen Shang asked. Perhaps we can look for my father using their methods. Sha Bailing had the power of space, she could protect herself, and could even isolate herself from space. Void said that he survived by hiding underground because he had a special ability, which was to make himself appear hollow and then drill into the ground. He said that there were no effects on the underground. Sha Bailing said, yet Qingyang was hiding inside a clock, not corroded by the death poison. When Sha Bailing talked about going underground, Chen Zhang's eyes lit up. This was indeed a better idea. He immediately controlled the Six Realms mirrors to fly faster and wander in the air. At the same time, he used the Dao Hard Eye to check the ground to see if he could find anything. This island could be considered an independent world, and he felt that there would definitely be something similar to a core. Otherwise, it would be impossible to maintain the existence of this island. After half a day, Chen Shang saw a place that emitted traces of a red mist. It was extremely thin, but this was the only energy that he had seen up till now. It seemed to be of the fire attribute, and could only be seen after careful observation using the Dao Hard Eye. I saw something. Why is there a fire attribute aura coming out of that place? Chen Shang immediately flew over. This would allow him to sense things more carefully. What is it? Sha Bailing could not see anything, and she did not know that Chen Shang had an extremely mystical Dao Hard Eye. It is the fire attribute aura that has emerged from the ground. Did this happen after your previous city was struck by the poison? Chen Shang asked. No, after encountering the poison, there wouldn't even be spiritual energy. This deadly poison absorbs spiritual energy from the heaven and earth to continuously spread the poison. The rate at which it devours spiritual energy is extremely terrifying. As long as a person is touched by a small dot, he or she will be immediately devoured to death, and that drop of venom will become a lot more numerous as well, then turn into mist and dissipate. As long as someone touches something, they will immediately be devoured. Quote, how terrifying, Chen Shang exclaimed. In that case, if there was even a tiny bit that leaked out, wouldn't that mean that many living creatures would die? That's for sure, so when you go out, you can't bring any. Sha Bailing said. So this kind of poison punishment is very mysterious, the places it appears in will always be wrapped up by a very powerful barrier, and won't let the death poison inside leak out. How terrifying. Chen Shang could imagine that if a single drop of it were to flow out and come into contact with any rocks, flowers, trees or the like, it would turn into even more deadly poison aura, and then spread outwards. Chen Shang was now even more shocked by his own body. He couldn't understand why he could resist such a dreadful death poison, since his impenetrable was cultivated a long time ago and at that time, he could only resist the poison in his world. That kind of poison was nothing to the current Octoterra's body, so he didn't think that his impenetrable would have much of an effect. After all, the poison in the Octoterra was a lot more terrifying than the ones he had seen in the past. But he never thought that he would still have the same impenetrable as before. When Chen Shang approached the place where the fire attribute chi leaked out, he realized that there was a lot of fire attribute energy that kept coming out from below, but because the dead poison's devouring ability was strong, the energy that leaked out was extremely sparse. If not for Chen Zhang's careful observation earlier, he wouldn't have been able to notice it. Chen Shang immediately used the God's Eye Dao mark and allowed the God's Eye Dao mark to work with the White Tiger's Dao mark. He could see a lot of things through the air. He followed the ground that was releasing the fire-type chi and went down, discovering that there was an extremely dense fire-type energy flowing out from there. As he went deeper, he discovered that there was a river in the depths. However, this river was filled with flame essence. The Earth's core, there really is a Earth's core here. Chen Shang was overjoyed, this meant that his father was probably underneath there many times. He immediately used teleportation to arrive at the flow of the lava. This flame essence was rather special. It wasn't very viscous, but it was indeed fiery red in color. Moreover, it was relatively light, as if the flame essence had fused with some other special liquid. Where to? Chen Shang didn't move at all at this moment. Whose fire essence was flowing with him at a fast speed? Is it hot? Sha Bailing asked. I also want to go down and take a breather. It's just a little hot, you'd better not come down. It'll be very dangerous if the deadly poison comes out of nowhere. Chen Shang laughed. Chen Shang had been to the core of the earth before, so he was relatively experienced in this area. Right now, he had already dived into the fire river to prevent other creatures from seeing him. More than 2 hours later, he suddenly heard a sound. It was someone speaking. Hurry up and catch the fire beasts. If we can't, we'll be beaten up again when we go back. A person said. We really have a bitter life. We just didn't make any mistakes. Isn't it just because we looked at that young master? He was actually caught and turned into a slave. Let's not talk about it anymore. If the supervisors hear it, there will definitely be a flogging. Chen Shang could even hear the ding ding dang dang sound of iron chains clanging against each other. There were a lot of people by the side of the river, they were all tied up with iron chains. Chen Shang immediately turned into a strand of faint mist and floated in the air. He did not expect that the fire river of fire would have already brought him to an underground world. It was very bright here, but unlike the sunlight on the ground, the river of fire was very wide. On both sides were trees with a strong fire attribute aura, and on the shore, there were over 100 people chained together. Chapter 2494. Chen Shang had already heard quite a bit about this underground world from the conversation between the two just now. There were some extremely powerful people here, and just because they were looked at by others, they were extremely unhappy, and then they captured and turned into slaves. This showed how cruel the underground world was, and how hateful those with power were. There were beasts here as well, and they were called fire beasts. After all, the underground world and the core of the earth had been hot places for a long time. Chen Shang floated in the air, looking at the strength of these people. They were actually the size of Dao Dan realm, people with strength like theirs, they actually had no dignity at all. This made him feel that the ones with power in the underground world were extremely powerful. Save them, Sha Bailing said. I know. Chen Shang nodded, he was currently looking for the supervisor. This group of people were already slaves, so what they were afraid of the most was supervisors. They all had a long whip that was emitting fire in their hands. Just now, Chen Shang had seen the shocking whip marks on the bodies of many people. It was obvious that they had all been whipped. You bunch of bastards, don't complain. The only reason you guys ended up like this was because you had offended the nobles and they allowed you to live. This is luck, otherwise you would have been eaten long ago. Of course, they will not eat the meat of lowly people like you. At most, they will feed you to their pets or to the soldiers beside you. Quote. All of you, behave and don't even think about escaping. Otherwise, I'll kill you all. As the overseer spoke, he laughed sinisterly and then lashed out at the two extremely skinny youths. Surprisingly, he laughed at them, making Chen Shang very angry. Chen Shang could not imagine what kind of world this was, to actually eat humans. The 5 supervisors are all at the 10th level of Daodan realm. I can handle them myself. Chen Shang said. Yuyao Mountain Villa's Sha Bailing wanted to take action. I'll be fine, Sister Bai Ling, killing this scum will only dirty your hands. Chen Shang said. He had already changed back into his human form. His heavenly magic sword had already been repaired for Long Jushao, but this did not affect his ability at all. Chen Shang had just taken out his sword, when one of the supervisors noticed him, and immediately shouted, Who exactly are you? This is the territory of King Qi Palace. Quote. Chen Shang immediately descended, his face full of smiles. Right now, he dressed relatively decently, with a handsome and masculine appearance, he seemed to be someone with status. I'm here to kill you. With that said, a flaming sword suddenly appeared in Chen Zhang's hand and stabbed into the supervisor's throat. Violent fire energy exploded out from the fire sword and poured into the supervisor's body. Boom! The overseer's body exploded into ashes. When the 2 youths who were beaten up saw this, they froze on the spot. Bastard, you truly have the guts to actually kill someone from the King Qi Palace. You're courting death. A supervisor rushed over, but before he could take a few steps, Chen Shang had teleported over and punched the supervisor on the forehead. The meteor immortal power burst out, the berserk energy created a strong pressure and crushed the supervisor. Adding on the terrifying flames, his fist was smashed into powder by Chen Shang. The remaining 3 supervisors were dumbfounded. They never expected this person to be so reckless. Who exactly are you? Everyone in Earth's spirit world knows that as long as you offend our King Qi Palace, you will die a horrible death. These fellows are the best examples. A supervisor shouted. He didn't dare to come over again. I don't know what the King Qi's palace is, but no matter how powerful it is, I will do my best to flatten it. Of course, before that, I will annihilate all 3 of you dogs from King Qi. While Chen Shang was speaking, he had already arrived in front of the supervisor, and with one punch, he turned him into dust. The remaining 2 supervisors did not dare speak anymore. Just as they were about to run away, the fire vines wrapped around their feet and Chen Shang threw a punch at them through the air, sending 2 streams of flames into their bodies, burning their bodies to ashes. The slaves were stunned. They never thought that this man would be so reckless. Moreover, he was very powerful. Just like that, he killed off the 5 supervisors. After that, Chen Shang and the group released the chains that bound them. The chains were made of extremely sturdy materials and were made of Daodan Realm S. Thank you for saving us. Big brother, thank you so much. Otherwise, who knows how long we would have been tortured for. Quote. The group of slaves all thanked Chen Shang. Everyone, you all shouldn't have been added to the master-servant contract, right? Chen Shang said. Of course not, we do not have the qualifications. Only the stronger people would be chosen by the nobles and be able to form master-servant contract, which would allow them to have better control over us. The youth said, so they can only use iron chains to lock us down. Hero, where did you come from? You do not seem to be from here, you are truly powerful, to not be afraid of King Qi Palace. An old man said. His body was covered in whip marks. Chen Shang took out many pills, which were all given to him by Sha Bailing, and were not some precious pills, but they were extremely useful to these people. After they ate them, the injuries on their bodies healed by a lot. I am from the outside world. Do you know anything about the surface? Chen Shang asked. He actually came from outside. Aren't you afraid of the black poison? The teenager exclaimed as he looked at Chen Shang with eyes full of respect. No, Chen Shang laughed. After the heavy rain, countless people died. We are outsiders. The people of this world have all died. The old man said. Foreign, how can you all come from here? Chen Shang immediately asked. He was secretly worried, because the old man said that all the people here were dead. The world we were originally in was punished, but under the circumstances of a coincidence, a crack appeared in the world we were in, and then we came to this place. People from both worlds could have gotten along with each other, but those, in order to control the Earth spirit world, the evil demons waged a war and killed all of the indigenous people here. Those guys are also nobles now. Quote. The old man sighed. At that time, I was still very young, and my parents were also captured and killed because they were against the war. Those who were initially opposed to it were all killed, and those who participated in the war are now all nobles. Chen Shang clenched his fists tightly and gritted his teeth. He was trying his best to restrain his anger. This was his birthplace in the first place, why would he be in such a disaster? Oh right, there seems to be one more person who is still alive. His name is Shen Tianyu. The old man suddenly said, those evil spirits have been trying to catch him. Chapter 2495. Shen Tianyu did not die. Chen Shang was ecstatic and elated, but when he thought about how his Shen family had suffered a tragic death, his heart was immediately filled with sorrow. That was his roots. Old mister, do you know where Shen Tianyu is? Chen Shang asked. How much do you know about him? Shen Tianyu was originally the Earth Spirit World's realm king. He was a very good person and his Shen family was also very powerful. However, they were still unable to defeat the dozen or so powerful forces and were ultimately destroyed. The old man sighed. I heard he isn't dead yet. Is he still alive? He's still in Earth Spirit World, hiding somewhere to plot revenge. Thank you for telling me. Do you all have places to go? Chen Shang asked. This Earth Spirit World is very big. If we hide here, they won't be able to find us, but you have to be careful, honorable hero. Su Yun said calmly. You guys hurry up and leave. I will stay here for a while, and if anyone comes, I will kill them. That way, they won't be able to catch up to you for a short period of time. Chen Shang said. The group of slaves were once again grateful to Chen Shang, and then left together. They knew that they had to unite together now in order to fight the enemy. Chen Shang waited for 4 hours, and sure enough, someone came. It was an army, hundreds of people, all of them wearing armor, and they were all at the 10th level of Daodan realm. Where are the slaves? The leading man asked. The spear in his hand was already at Chen Zhang's throat. His voice was extremely cold, filled with killing intent. You should ask your supervisor. Chen Shang said. Where's the overseer? The leader asked. Dead. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he teleported behind the supervisor. A violent tiger roar sounded and Chen Zhang's fist turned into the shape of a white tiger. This was his father's fist technique. Upon seeing it, the Bai Lai soldier immediately recalled that Shen Tianyu had used this move to kill many of their powerful leaders back then. Chen Zhang's fist techniques became even more violent, because he added meteor immortal power. The tiger head bit towards the leader's head, smashing him into pieces. He laid on the ground, turned into dust by Chen Zhang's fire palm. We are from the King Qi. Just as one of the soldiers finished speaking, his mouth was pierced by a fire sword, and Chen Zhang's fire sword Dao Mark was also extremely powerful. Chen Zhang's group also reached high up in the sky and unleashed a gigantic fire cloud palm. Using the meteor immortal power's divine energy, they struck out and in the blink of an eye, they landed on the ground. Those 100 or so powerful soldiers were all instantly killed by him. The fire cloud palm caused the sky to be covered in dense fiery clouds, and the fiery light reached to the sky. Even from afar, it could still be seen very clearly, and when the fire cloud palm pressed down, it was as if mountains were collapsing and the ground was cracking, causing the earth to tremble non-stop. This kind of movement very quickly alarmed the rankers from the. They all moved out, but saw Chen Shang floating in the sky, looking at them with a murderous look. Who are you? You actually killed 100 of our King Qi's elites. An old man said angrily, you are only at the 10th level of the Daodan realm, but you actually possess such powerful strength. You are definitely from a famous clan. Just what kind of power are you from? Behind the old man were 10 middle-aged men, all of them in the 5th stage of the Daopo realm. Are you from the King Qi Palace? Chen Shang asked. That's right, the King Qi is in charge of 30 cities. We are stationed at Qi Shuang City. The elder said coldly, why did you want to kill our people? This old man's strength is very strong. His Daopo realm is at the 7th or 8th level. Chen Shang is not his match, but he is not afraid at all. Because you are people from the King Qi, so I will kill you. You all must have also done a lot of heartless things for that *T King Qi, right? Chen Shang sneered. HMPH, it seems that you are going to be a person who extorts evil and punishes evil. You need to have the strength to insult our King Qi and that will be your death sentence. The old man angrily said, you can go and die now. After the old man finished speaking, the 10 middle-aged men behind him immediately rushed over. However, as they rushed over, they discovered that only their bodies had passed over, and their heads, feet, and legs were still standing in place. What made them incomparably frightened was that after their feet, legs, heads, and bodies were separated, there was no pain at all. Furthermore, the connection was still there. This was Sha Bailing's move. Chen Shang had seen Sha Bailing use this move before. You, just who are you? We, the King Qi, have never offended any major powers, and when we kill people, we only kill those lowly people, the old man asked, because his 4 limbs were separated from his body. You're all going to die soon, why do you need to know so much? After Chen Shang finished speaking, he walked over and gave the old man's head a powerful palm strike, turning it into ashes. The rest of the 10 middle-aged men were stunned, only their bodies could move, but their bodies could only move, what was the use of that? Their hands and feet were all at their original places, only floating around, not attacking Chen Shang. Very quickly, Chen Shang killed these 10 people. Of course, he only killed one of them after absorbing his memories. Chen Shang learned a lot about this Earth Spirit world from his memories. This Earth Spirit world was built by his father, Shen Tianyu. Chen Shang did not expect his father to have such abilities. He was able to build a city like this underground, and it was also very obvious that his father had predicted that a poisonous rain would descend, allowing many people to survive. However, because of the appearance of the spatial crack, they were brought here by people from another world, where a war eventually broke out and many experts from Earth's spirit world were killed. I have to find father as soon as possible. Chen Shang could only let his father know that he was here. Chen Shang came to the nearby Qishuang city, where there were over 100,000 people surrounding the city walls. The son of the King Qi who was serving as the city lord was just a popinjay, and because he had the King Qi's father, many powerful people kneeled and licked him, just to curry favor with the King Qi. Chen Shang now knew what kind of existence the King Qi was. The first emperor who took over the Earth Spirit world was called the Earth Spirit Emperor, and the 10 great leaders that came with the Earth Spirit Emperor were all conferred the title of king. The King Qi was the Qi family, which was also very strong. After all, this was a relatively small city, but there were transmission arrays in here that could lead to other cities. Qi Shanlang is that hedonistic son of the King Qi. He seems to be having some sort of gathering here, and I can go and disrupt it. Chen Shang looked at the most luxurious building in the distance. It was Qi Shanlang's residence. When Chen Shang came, he had already become one of the middle-aged men that was killed by him. The middle-aged man also had a very high position here. After all, he was strong, so he easily entered the tall building. Chapter 2496. After entering the tall building, Chen Shang went to one of the floors according to his memories. This was the floor where Qi Xian often sought pleasure, and he would often invite young masters from other powers to play with him. They were all popinjays. When Chen Shang walked up the stairs, he changed back to his original appearance. When he arrived at the 7th floor, he heard waves of laughter and immediately confirmed that this was the floor Qi Xian was on. After he entered, he saw that there was a large hall inside. In the middle of the hall, there was a stage with many girls dancing, and below, there were many young noblemen, hugging beauties, drinking wine and laughing. Chen Shang was no longer unfamiliar with such extravagant scenes. Previously, he would often see that many women were now half naked, and extremely naked. After entering, Chen Shang looked around, only to realize that the strongest was just a Dao Po realm, the rest were all at the 10th level of the Dao Dan realm. Those unambitious young masters here had mostly stopped at the 10th level of the Dao Dan realm, making it hard for them to level up. Qi Xian Lang, Chen Shang shouted out, his voice was loud, causing everyone's ears to ring. At this time, the hall became quiet. Who's calling me? Qi Xian stood up and looked in the direction of the door, anger written all over his face. It's me, Chen Shang said indifferently. Qi Xian's clothes were in a mess, and beside him were 2 seductive women hugging him. Do you know the rules? When you look for me, you have to inform me and arrest him. What a disgrace, Qi Xian said coldly. When Chen Shang shouted just now, there were 2 men standing behind him. Now, with Qi Xian's order, they anxiously grabbed onto Chen Zhang's arm, wanting to take him away, but suddenly, Chen Shang disappeared. Everyone looked at Chen Shang, and just like that, he suddenly disappeared, causing them to be shocked, and looked around. Where is he? Qi Xian looked around and rubbed his eyes. He had drunk a lot of wine and was getting drunk. Here, Chen Shang suddenly appeared in front of Qi Xian and sneered, your father is King Qi. That's right, who exactly are you? You know my father is a King Qi, but you still dare to be so rude to me. Qi Xian was shocked and quickly shouted. You should be tired of living. While Chen Shang was speaking, he threw a punch towards Qi Xian's face, and at the same time, a hand grabbed onto Qi Xian's wrist. This way, Qi Xian wouldn't fly out even if he was hit by a heavy punch. Chen Zhang's punch was not very strong, but Qi Xian let out a pitiful cry. His handsome white face was already swollen red, and his entire face was deformed. Chen Shang controlled himself well. He would not kill Qi Xian with one punch, but he could still feel the pain. You, quickly kill him, Qi Xian roared. He did not know why Chen Shang attacked him, but it was no longer important to him, because no matter what the reason was, he had to kill Chen Shang, in order to remove the hatred in his heart. Chen Shang then slapped over again, landing on Qi Xian's swollen face, causing him to scream miserably again. If you dare to come over, I'll immediately cut off one of his arms. Chen Shang said coldly. He looked at the people around him. All of you, scram. I will kill you. Qi Xian's body trembled. He used his own strength, and was about to attack Chen Shang, but was struck in the chest by Chen Shang. The force of the palm strike made Qi Xian scream in pain, and he even spat out a mouthful of blood. Who the hell are you? Let go of young Master Qi quickly, or else King Qi will make you suffer a fate worse than death. A middle-aged man shouted. He was responsible for protecting Qi Xian, and now that something like this had happened, he would definitely be blamed in the future. I am Chen Shang. Shen Tianyu told me to kill this trash. As Chen Shang said that, he slapped Qi Xian a few more times on the face. Qi Xian's face was so distorted that he could not even recognize him. It was sent by Shen Tianyu. The middle-aged man became serious and retreated quickly. He obviously knew that Chen Shang was very strong, otherwise he would not have been able to control Qi Xian, who was at the 10th level of the Dao Dan realm, so easily. Chen Shang was also at the 10th level of the Dao Dan realm, but amongst those of the same level, he was basically invincible. You bastard, if others look at you more, you'll be captured and taken as a slave. Chen Shang snorted, and punched Qi Xian in the abdomen. Don't worry, I won't kill you, I will let you live, but you will feel better than dead. With that said, Chen Shang slapped Qi Xian's head, directly shattering Qi Xian's divine sense C, making him look like a cripple. Help me tell your father, King Qi Tortoise, that I, Chen Shang, will find him sooner or later. At that time, I will treat him as I treat you. Chen Shang laughed, and then fiercely slapped Qi Xian's face again. The force of the slap caused Qi Xian to fly out, colliding with the wall and landing on the street outside. Following that, Chen Shang struck the ground with his palm. The berserk heaven-blasting palm released a terrifying shockwave that turned the entire building into ruins, and all the people buried within the ruins started to curse. When the building collapsed, Chen Shang had already teleported away. After teleporting to a place where no one was around, Chen Shang used a transformation technique to turn himself into an old man, and then left a secret mark in some parts of the city. Only the Shen family could understand the meaning behind this secret mark. If Shen Tianyu saw it, these records would lead him to the place where was buried. Chen Shang was currently in the city, so with him causing such a commotion, it would definitely spread out in a short amount of time. If Shen Tianyu knew about this, he would definitely secretly come to the city, and at that time, he would be able to contact them. 2 days later, the matter had already spread throughout the city, and Chen Shang heard from many people that the majority of the people in the city, including Qi Xian, were extremely disgusted and even felt the same way about the emperors and the other nobles, because they always did whatever they wanted to bully the weak and bully the weak. Qi Xian was completely destroyed by Chen Shang, the divine sense C was completely erased, it was extremely difficult to cultivate new ones, and he was even beaten up by Chen Shang ruthlessly. His heart was definitely full of shadows, and it would affect his entire life. When the King Qi knew about this, he immediately sent out some experts to investigate. Chen Shang discovered that those experts were only at the 5th or 6th stage of the Dao Po realm, so they were not much of a threat to him. This city had a lot of losses at the moment. First, 100 of elite soldiers were killed by Chen Shang, then 10 elite warriors and a leader were killed. To hit King Qi's son, and to even be so fierce and arrogant, was clearly slapping his face. King Qi also took this matter very seriously. And the name Chen Shang had also spread throughout the Earth spirit world, which was exactly as Chen Shang had predicted. Chapter 2497. This matter not only angered the King Qi, even the other nobles were very worried about it, because they never thought that Shen Tianyu would have such a person under his command. Chen Shang had been waiting inside the city the entire time. He didn't make him wait too long, he only waited for Shen Tianyu's signal. Shen Tianyu found a secret record in the city and found a jade talisman there. Only then could he use this jade talisman to send a message to Chen Shang and contact him. "Shonger, is that you?" Chen Shang heard his familiar voice from the jade talisman, but it was low. "Dad, it's me," Chen Shang said excitedly. Good, good, where are you? I'll go look for you right now." Shen Tianyu was also very excited at this time. He did not think that he would be able to meet his son again. "Dad, I'll go look for you. Where are you now?" Chen Shang asked. He was worried that Shen Tianyu would be discovered if he did not conceal himself well enough. Shen Tianyu told Chen Shang his location and Chen Shang quickly teleported over, changing back to his original appearance. When she saw Shen Tianyu, Chen Zhang's eyes became moist and she rushed over to hug Shen Tianyu. Shen Tianyu was already like a middle-aged man, with white hair and a lot of age, but what surprised Chen Shang the most was that Shen Tianyu was in the 10th stage of the Dao Po realm. He was curious as to why Shen Tianyu was able to break through so quickly and have such cultivation. "Let's talk somewhere else," Chen Shang said before bringing his conical hat along with him and teleporting out of the city. They arrived at a forest far away from the city. "Dad, what's going on? What about our Shen family? Is he still there?" Chen Shang asked quickly. "He's gone." Shen Tianyu shook his head and sighed. "It's been so long, and after so many things, I don't want the Shen family anymore, but I did establish the Earth Spirit world, and it's just that, sigh, it's all my fault, I don't have the ability to protect myself." Quote. Chen Shang was currently very angry, because the people who were attacking Earth Spirit world were still enjoying life. "Are you the only one left?" Chen Shang patted Shen Tianyu's shoulder. "Of course not, more than half of our soldiers died and a lot of civilians survived. Back then, I had anticipated that those fellows would have ill intentions and had been defending them from time to time." Shen Tianyu laughed. "I created an underground palace at a deeper place. It's very close to the center of the earth, and there's even a very small river of fire there. I heard they were all killed." "Dad, you're so awesome." Chen Shang gave Shen Tianyu a big thumbs up. "If I were powerful, I wouldn't have been driven away." Shen Tianyu laughed bitterly. "You're the awesome one, to think that you could actually find me, and even enter this damned place, and ruthlessly beat up King Qi's son." "Right, what happened on this island?" Chen Shang asked. A poisonous rain suddenly fell from the sky, causing the entire island to be shrouded in death poison. I already knew about this matter, because during that short period of time when I was sleeping, there would be people who would tell me about this matter. Furthermore, they would also tell me the method to dodge it. Shen Tianyu said. Was very surprised. Someone actually asked him to build a Earth Spirit world here. This Earth Spirit world existed in the first place, we only built many cities later on, so when the poisonous rain came, not a single one of us died. This Earth Spirit world existed in the first place, we only built many cities later on. When Shen Tianyu thought back to this moment, he could not help but become angry. "Let's take a look at the underground palace," Chen Shang said. Shen Tianyu instructed Chen Shang to teleport and very quickly, they arrived at the entrance to the underground palace. It was in the depths of a mountain range and entered from the mouth of a dead volcano. "Dad, how strong are those guys?" Chen Shang asked. "I'll help you fix them so that you can take over the Earth Spirit world from here. The strongest should be that Earth Spirit world Emperor. That guy broke through the Dao Po realm, so I'm not his opponent. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have lost," Shen Tianyu said. At this moment, he opened a stone door. "Dad, how did you cultivate so fast? You're faster than me by a lot. All these years, I've also relied on pills to speed me up." Chen Shang said. "You definitely do not have that many pills here." Of course not. When Shen Tianyu mentioned this matter, he thought back to his past. Chen Shang also immediately knew that the people who were with Shen Tianyu back then were no longer here, and only he was still alive. For many years, it was the voice in my mind that helped me and guided me in my cultivation. As a result, I absorbed the power of this island very quickly. Shen Tianyu said. "In short, every time I encounter a bottleneck, as long as I meditate and cultivate, I can feel myself merging with the entire island, and I'll be able to break through it very quickly. But now, you know, the situation on this island isn't very good, so it is very difficult for me to enter the Dao Profound realm." Shen Tianyu brought Chen Shang and entered the gates of the underground palace. There were a few middle-aged men guarding the gates, they were very curious about Chen Zhang's identity. Because it was very rare for Shen Tianyu to be so intimate with others, even though Shen Tianyu was usually full of dignity, but now he looked a lot more gentle. Our Shen family has disappeared a long time ago. These people all came from that island, and there are even people from that spatial rift. Shen Tianyu said. Chen Shang had also heard that back then, there were many people who were opposed to taking over Earth's spirit world. Many people supported living in harmony with them, just that the great powers were too greedy, and were not willing for Shen Tianyu to take control of the entire Earth spirit world, which was why they started the war. At that time, many of the people who came over from the spatial crack had also joined Shen Tianyu's side, and fought with the royalty. However, Shen Tianyu lost in the end and brought them here. Father, do you have any plans now? Are you sure that the strongest people over there are only at the Tao Profound Realm? Chen Shang asked. If that's the case, I feel that we can immediately go back and eliminate those 10 kings and the world emperor. You only seem to be Dao Dan realm now, right? What can you do? Shen Tianyu said. He had already brought Chen Shang to a hall in the underground palace. This was his cave. Yes, Chen Shang said. Alright, wait for me. I'll go gather those generals. Shen Tianyu trusted Chen Shang a lot, so he didn't ask too much and immediately walked out of the hall. Chen Shang asked Sha Bailing, Sister Bai Ling, can you handle the Tao Profound Realm? Sha Bailing scoffed, what do you mean? Even if 10,000 comes, I will still kill them all. No matter how many there are, I will still kill them all. Quote. Sister Bai Ling, you're so amazing. What is your Tao sovereign cultivation level? Chen Shang could not help but exclaim. He did not have a deep understanding of these realms. He had previously heard from Chu Hongqing and Yang Shangyan that the Tao Po realm was very strong. Chapter 2498. When Chen Shang was chased by the experts of the undead divine race, he did not know what their cultivations were. He only knew that they had definitely surpassed the Tao Po realm by a lot. There are a total of 10 stages in the heavenly Tao realm. Tao Ti realm, Tao Yuan realm, Tao Dan realm, Tao Po realm, Tao Profound realm, Tao Shi realm, Tao Zong realm, and beyond them are the extremely difficult Tao Du Mes. After the Tao Du Mes are the Tao sovereigns. Sha Bailing said. Sister Bai Ling, you're actually so amazing. He's actually at the last realm. Chen Shang said in shock. To you, it's quite impressive, but so what? Even now, I still don't understand who the power that punished our city was. Sha Bailing said. I'll definitely understand it in the future. You must believe in yourself. Chen Shang laughed. Sha Bailing nodded, because the punishment for her city's power led to her family's destruction and death. She wanted revenge. The undead divine race who were chasing and killing you before were all part of the Dao Zong realm, and the strongest among all the hundreds of flowers village were Xie Chaoyan, Long Xuangru and Shui Ying. And the Long Jushao in the heavenly dragon city is the Dao Zong realm. Sha Bailing said. Long Jushao should be preparing to enter the Dao Doom realm. Of course, for heavenly beast like him, the Dao Doom is easier to pass. Sister Bai Ling, didn't you say the Void and the 2 Dao sovereigns failed their tribulation? What do you mean, they're Dao sovereigns? Chen Shang asked. They have successfully become Dao sovereigns. However, there was a problem with the Dao Doom, which caused them to become like that. But of course, that doesn't affect their strength at all. But as they see it, that's because the tribulation has failed. Sha Bailing said. Does everyone become like this when they fail at transcending tribulation? Chen Shang asked again. Looks like Dao Doom is very powerful. It's not that powerful. You'll know the specifics after you experience it. If it's really that powerful, then Void and Azure Sun would have already died long ago. If the Dao Doom was not successful, they would lose some things, such as the Azure Sun and the Void, which would forever be small. Sha Bailing said. Ah, forever. Chen Shang was shocked. They are so pitiful. Yes, Sha Bailing giggled, so you better be careful in the future. If you become smaller forever, your beautiful wives would be very depressed. I'm not going to turn into that bird. Chen Shang snorted. He also felt fear when he thought about it. Besides becoming smaller, are there any other ways to pay the price? There is. For example, half humans and half beasts could become beasts, or could become stars in the sky, or could become flowers, plants, and trees. In short, it would become something else. It was one kind of thing. It's more common to become a child and then become something else. Sha Bailing said, and the worst is that they have become weirdly shaped. I heard that some of them had their buttocks and head swapped places. Chen Zhang's brows twitched. This was indeed too tragic. You don't have to be afraid. You'll definitely be able to get through it. When Sha Bailing was in the Hundreds of Flowers village, he had a rather deep understanding of Chen Shang. He was a guy who could change his fate, and his luck had always been good. Sister Bai Ling, it's going to be tough on you. Help me get rid of those bad guys. Chen Shang said. I know, I love punishing bad guys. Sha Bailing laughed. Oh right, my old man is always being trifled by some guy. What do you think, Sister Bai Ling? Chen Shang said, that guy must be on this island. Sha Bailing was silent for a moment, then said, I am also very curious about this matter. That fellow knew beforehand that it would rain poison rain and told your father to prepare to evacuate to this Earth Spirit world. This Earth Spirit world is obviously related to that guy. Quote, although it's not difficult for your father to create a Earth Spirit world with his strength, it's definitely not over in a short amount of time. Chen Shang nodded his head, that guy possesses very powerful strength, and he treats my father quite well. Sha Bailing said, but he did not take care of your father anymore. Otherwise, your father's Earth Spirit world would not have been taken down. Why is that? Chen Shang said as his brows knitted together, could it be that that guy felt that my father was too weak, so he gave up on my father and went to find that crappy world emperor from the Tao Profound Realm? No, it's just that he's not in a good situation right now. Sha Bailing's voice became serious, I think that guy is the spirit of this island, which is also the island spirit. Island spirit? Chen Shang took in a deep breath. What Sha Bailing said was true. He felt that it was true, if not for the fact that Island Spirit did not have enough power, spatial rifts would not have appeared. In order to help the humans on the ground survive, Island Spirit must have a lot of power. Moreover, this island was constantly being corroded by the deadly poison, which had a strong devouring force, so after a long time, Island Spirit would definitely become very weak. This island was the Island Spirit's body. If one were to suffer such devastation, the current condition of the Island Spirit could be imagined. If we can find the Island Spirit, perhaps I can find out why our city was poisoned back then. Island Spirit definitely knows about this matter, which is why he told your father in advance and told him to be on guard. Sha Bailing said. Yes, the Island Spirit must be at the core of the earth, and the earthly beast might even be the Island Spirit. Chen Shang nodded his head, once we settle the matters of the Earth Spirit world, we'll go to the core of the earth to take a look. Chen Shang, do you have any way to cure the death poison? Sha Bailing suddenly asked, his voice weak, I feel that this island is very pitiful, he is intelligent, and can be considered a living being, moreover he has helped your father before, if possible, we should help him. It was only because Sha Bailing had asked Chen Shang this question when she saw impenetrable that she had heard of him allowing two space-time to fuse together. To her, this sounded like an unimaginable feat, but Chen Shang had done it when he was very weak. Yes, when we settle the matter of finding the Earth Spirit world, we can then find the Island Spirit and ask him for his opinion. Chen Shang quickly thought of a way. What method? Sha Bailing suddenly became excited. She and the Azure Sky Snake were both troubled by the issue of the death poison, because they had already constructed a very powerful city. They had also discussed how they could cure the poison if they were to encounter rain again. Fire. Chen Shang said, he felt that the flames released by the Chuangshi God furnace should not be a problem, and after using the creation God spring to water the soil that had been corroded by the death poison, it would be able to restore its vitality. Of course, this was only his imagination. He had never tried it, and did not know if he would succeed or not. Chapter 2499. This was also to let Chen Shang gain their acknowledgement. At this time, Shen Tianyu introduced all of these rankers to Chen Shang one by one. Some of them were with Shen Tianyu, and some of them were from other worlds. Shanger, tell me your plan now. I know you have a way. Shen Tianyu said, he was very clear about Chen Zhang's methods. I have a Dao Sovereign level expert with me. My plan is for her to take action and kill off the more threatening ones. After that, leave the smaller ones to us. Chen Shang said. Is this for real? An old man exclaimed. Dao sovereigns were something they yearned for. In their world, they were like legends. Absolutely, Chen Shang nodded. After all, it was somewhat difficult for them to accept this. Right now, the Earth Spirit World's Realm Emperor was only a Dao Profound Realm, but the pressure was so great that they were unable to breathe. If there really was a Dao Sovereign expert, then their side would definitely be an invincible existence. It would be a piece of cake for them to take down the Earth Spirit World's 10 Kings and World Emperor. Shen Tianyu obviously believed Chen Zhang's words. He also understood why the others did not believe him, and said, "Shonger, can you let this Tao sovereign out?" "No problem." Chen Shang immediately let Sha Bailing come out of the Yuyao mountain villa, and he had already greeted her beforehand. When Sha Bailing came out, she pretended to be cold so that she looked more like an expert. This was what Chen Shang had told her before. Seeing this beautiful and noble woman in a purple dress, everyone was stunned. In their imaginations, a Dao sovereign expert should be a very old man. Chen Shang thought so too, but he had seen even more outrageous Dao sovereigns like Qingyang and Shu Kong. He felt that Dao sovereigns were extremely eccentric. Sha Bailing was still considered normal. "Everyone, there's no need to suspect that she's a Dao sovereign." Chen Shang laughed. "She was the one who helped me previously, and I only managed to kill Qi Shanlang's 10 experts." Chen Shang had indeed killed many experts by his side, but Chen Shang was only at the 10th level of the Dao Dan realm. Is this really the cultivation of a Dao sovereign? An old man who could not feel Sha Bailing's aura was suspicious. Although Sha Bailing was acting cold on purpose, she was not a woman who was born with the demeanor of a strong rancor. "Sister Bai Ling, how many moves did you miss?" Chen Shang said to Sha Bailing in a low voice. Sha Bailing waved her hand, and a beating heart appeared on top of her palm. This is my heart," the old man cried out in alarm, his face turning pale. "Senior, don't worry, your heart is fine." Chen Shang laughed. At the same time, Sha Bailing returned his heart back to him. At this moment, everyone was trembling with fear, worried that their hearts would be randomly pulled out and crushed. Of course, they still could not feel the cultivation strength of the Dao Lord yet, but they knew that Sha Bailing was much stronger than them. "Is everyone ready now? If all of you are not worried, we can go and kill the World Emperor and the other 10 kings first. After that, you can attack," Chen Shang said. "All right then." Shen Tianyu nodded his head. "Shonger, let me go with you." "No need, Dad, you just stay here and prepare to attack. After we quickly take back Earth's spirit world, I still have important things to do. I'll tell Sister Bai Ling if she can get rid of the deadly poison on the ground and let everyone return to the ground," Chen Shang said. Everyone was excited. They felt that they could possibly do this, because Sha Bailing was a Dao Lord. In their eyes, there was nothing that Dao sovereigns could not do. "Then can you find the World Emperor?" Shen Tianyu replied. "I'm still a bit worried." "What's so difficult about that? I can even come to this place, not to mention finding such a famous person in Earth's spirit world." Chen Shang laughed. "We will leave it at that, we will leave first." Chen Shang brought Sha Bailing out of the underground palace and came to the surface. "Little scoundrel, didn't you look very domineering just now?" Sha Bailing chuckled. "No, it looks weird, but it's much better than your usual mischievous smile." Chen Shang laughed and said, "Only people like Sister Wei Shan and Sister Kilian can be called domineering. HMPH, looking down on me." Sha Bailing ruthlessly pinched Chen Zhang's handsome face, and then, he entered the Yuyao mountain villa. "Find that whatever World Emperor and let me make a move first." Chen Shang teleported to a city. The city was relatively large and he immediately entered the city lord's mansion to kill the rankers beside it. The city lord of this city was also a member of the King Qi. Back then, he had also participated in the war to take over the Earth spirit world, so Chen Shang was extremely ruthless. Chen Shang had teleported from the city to the spirit demon city, where the World Emperor lived. Looking for the World Emperor's subordinates like this is too troublesome. Think of a way to attract them here and kill them all together," Sha Bailing said. I also have the same thought. Right now, I'll go and capture that World King, then I'll impersonate that World King." Chen Shang nodded. In this Spirit Emperor city, there was a lack of resources, so there were very little defensive arrays. Even if there was one, it would not be very strong. When Chen Shang found him, he was having fun with a large group of people, playing with a large group of beauties in the pool. Chen Shang hid in the large bathtub in the room and waited for a while. Finally, he waited for the World Emperor to leave by himself. The World Emperor was a middle-aged man. His appearance was ordinary, but he still looked quite mighty. He entered his own secret room, took out a jade bottle, and from within, he took out a pill. "What pill is this?" Chen Shang asked. He had turned into smoke just now and had quietly followed them in. The World Emperor was very vigilant. When he heard someone ask behind him, he was suddenly shocked and a longsword also appeared in his hand. However, at that time, he discovered that his hands and feet had separated from his body. Sha Bailing had already made his move. Using the profound power of space, he separated the World Emperor's 4 limbs from her body, but only in space. There was neither blood nor pain, only that she was unable to move. I am Chen Shang. Chen Shang chuckled as his hand was already pressing onto the head of the Realm Emperor, engulfing his memories. He had seen quite a few dirty things from the World Emperor's memories. The World King cried out in pain. Although he had powerful power, that power seemed to have separated from him. Although he could feel it, he could not use it. Sha Bailing didn't need to come out from Chen Zhang's Yuyao Mountain Villa to easily suppress the World Emperor. Chapter 2500. You guys have occupied the Earth Spirit City for so long, do you have enough blessings? Chen Shang laughed coldly, and then let Sha Bailing use his spatial energy to seal the World Emperor and throw him into the Chuangshi God Furnace. Chen Shang found many good things from the World Emperor's body, including communication jade symbol paper. At that moment, he had changed into the appearance of the World King. Moreover, he imitated the World King's voice and used the communication jade symbol paper to send messages to the 10 kings as well as many powerful generals. After passing down the message, Chen Shang found the more than 10 sons of the Realm King in the palace. He didn't kill them, and only threw them into the Chuangshi God Furnace S. In only 4 hours, Chen Shang had already gathered the 10 kings. As for the 30 generals, they were all at the 10th level of the Daopo realm. These people were the strongest within the Earth Spirit world. If they were to kill them, Shen Tianyu and the others could easily snatch back the Earth Spirit world without sacrificing too much. King Qi, I have heard about your son's matter. I think everyone knows the reason why I called you all here. That is to say, about Chen Shang. Chen Shang had changed into the appearance of the World King and imitated his aura. But we don't know where Shen Tianyu's group is right now. We already expected you to hide and wait for revenge. King Qi said, his face was filled with anger. Although he was provoked, he could not do anything. Chen Shang nodded and said, I know where the Chen Shang is. Oh, King Qi and the rest were shocked. Right here, Chen Shang gave a strange smile, then immediately reverting back to his original appearance. They did not think that there would actually be someone with the ability to pretend to be the World Emperor to call them over here. With their many years of experience, they immediately knew that the reason Chen Shang had gathered them here was to kill them off in one go. Sha Bailing had already laid out a spatial enchantment, so they couldn't escape. Sister Bai Ling, let's fight. Chen Shang was in a hurry to find the island spirit of this island. Sha Bailing immediately used her strong spatial energy and separated all of their heads. Then, using her fire sword Dao Mark, Chen Shang released a fire sword and rushed towards them. Although these 40 people were all at the 10th stage of the Daopo realm, they were all suppressed by Sha Bailing using spatial energy and had no power to resist, as they were easily killed by Chen Shang. Chen Shang took their heads and quickly returned to the underground palace. It had only been a day. Seeing that Chen Shang had returned so quickly, Shen Tianyu asked, can't we find where they are? Shen Tianyu was still discussing how to attack with the other rankers. No, I've already killed them all. After saying that, Chen Shang threw the heads of the Realm King, the 10 kings and the generals to the ground. Looking at the familiar faces, Shen Tianyu and the rest were all dumbstruck, because these people were all strong enemies in their eyes, and now that their heads were all here, it did not even take a day. Especially the World Emperor of the Dao Profound Realm. Previously, he was a strong enemy that was difficult for them to defeat. Hee, Sister Bai Ling is a Dao sovereign. With her help, it would be a piece of cake. Chen Shang laughed. Father, you should be able to handle those shrimp soldiers and crab generals, right? There's absolutely no problem. These dozens of people are the strongest on their side. Now that they're all dead, there's no difficulty at all. Shen Tianyu came back to reality. All these years, they had been thinking about how to take back their Earth Spirit World S and kill these people. They never thought that it would be done so easily by Chen Shang. Dad, I'm going to find a guy. We'll talk in private, Chen Shang said. Shen Tianyu nodded. Then, he had an old man collect these human heads and show them to their warriors. This could increase their morale. Shen Tianyu and Chen Shang arrived at a secret room. Dad, when did the guy who gave you dreams not appear in your dreams? Chen Shang asked. Are you going to look for him? Do you know where he is? Shen Tianyu asked. I think he is island spirit. Chen Shang nodded. Not long after I entered the Earth Spirit world, he no longer contacted me. He previously told me that he might not appear again. Shen Tianyu was very surprised to know that it was the island spirit, as if he had understood a lot of things. Could it be that he died because of the poisonous rain? Shen Tianyu sighed. He's the same as my master, if not for him, I would have died long ago. I don't think he died, but he is currently very weak. If he doesn't get any more help, he might die, so I have to go find him. Chen Shang said, I think it's very likely that he's in the center of the earth. Is there really a way? Shen Tianyu asked anxiously. He never told me where he is, he only said that he was always on this island. If that's really the case, then it's almost certainly him. Chen Shang said, there's no time to lose, I will go find him now. I need to talk to him first before I know how to help him. Shang'er, you have to do your best to help him. Shen Tianyu patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. Definitely. Chen Shang laughed, I'll go right now. Alright, you don't need to worry about the things here. We can solve it, Shen Tianyu said. Chen Shang drilled into the ground from the underground palace. This place must be the closest to the Earth's core, and there was a place where the flame essence could come out. Although he was not very sure, at the very least, this was the only direction in which he could search for the island spirit. He quickly entered the core of the Earth. With Sha Bailing using his spatial energy to protect himself, he did not have to worry about encountering any dangers down there. The Earth's core is withering away. Sha Bailing said, but the thing that I am sure of is, if there is an island spirit here, he is definitely still alive, as long as the Earth's heart does not die, he will not die. However, right now, the inner core was only burning without being able to absorb the great Tao Qi from the heaven and earth, and the ground was also being devoured by that deadly poison. Therefore, it was only a matter of time before this island was finished. Chen Shang was currently heading towards the location of the core, and he could clearly sense the direction of the core inside the Earth's core. There was a terrifying and berserk energy there. If not for Sha Bailing, it would be extremely difficult for him to reach there. Several hours later, he finally arrived at the core. It was a huge, fiery red bead. He touched it lightly with his hand and felt a strong suction force that sucked him in.